Classic Kevin Owens trying to take all the credit. Well, is he lying? Is he telling the truth? Nobody knows. But guess what, Kev? Since it's the holiday season, I'm in the giving spirit, and I'm going to give you all the credit. You can have it all. It's all yours, Kev. Because of day one, I'm going to take what's rightfully mine. And that is the WWE Championship. Because even from afar, I am a visionary, a revolutionary, and I'm Seth freaking Rollins.
This is Space Jesus Billy Starks, and you're listening to Sit Down Mark's podcast with Primo, DB, and AJ.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the final podcast, Sit Down Mark's podcast of the year. I am your heel host, the Dirty Bird. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you all everyone had a great Christmas. I know we did over here in the Midwest, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in here. What's going on, boys? How was your holiday?
Well, mine was super eventful. I'll get into what I did during AJ's movies of the week, but then I worked. So I basically I had like 2 hours of Christmas, but those 2 hours were fantastic.
Yeah, I had a great Christmas, actually. It's probably the best Christmas I've been able to give my family in ever, actually. We had a good year, and it showed, dude. So it was awesome. We had a good time.
Well, I'm happy that you guys had a nice Christmas. That makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. DB, how was your Christmas? Was it good?
Yeah, man, it was good, man. We had a really big one here too, man. We've last couple, wasn't we didn't have all the family here, so to speak, but this time we did. So we had a big fun Christmas. Everybody, the kids loved it, man. So yeah, we had a great Christmas. Let me introduce these guys talking to you right now. First, let me bring to you co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme himself, editor and producer of the show. You know him, Primo. What's going on, my man? Welcome.
What up? What up?
Primo.
Can you believe that we started in March and made it to the end of the year?
Here we are.
And we're about to turn the corner and start a brand new year. I can't believe it because just coming up in 3 months will be our 1 year anniversary of the show. So it's just we're already 44 episodes in.
Good God,
that's right.
It's flying. The other baby face right there, good and godding us already here, straight out of your mama's kitchen. Master of the forearm shark, assistant editor and producer, and driver of the Griff Wagon, Mr. Rampage. I popped myself so hard I couldn't say your name.
I hate that so much. What did I text you guys like? Fucking Griff Wagon.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said.
Referring to North Carolina's very own Griff Grifferson, which I did not know was from there. We'll talk about that later. But AJ, really? Man, so your holiday was not good, man. Otherwise, how are you?
Not the best. I'm doing okay. I was a bit ill. Still feeling a bit under the weather, but on the mend. Yeah, holiday wasn't great when everyone was celebrating, with their families and doing things. I was reporting on a shooting that happened, so the fun times for everyone but me. Well, and probably the people who got shot. They probably didn't have a very good holiday. But there was no one got hit. Is that I'm gonna be quiet. Hey.
Let me thank our sponsors here. We got Jet Designs coming in for another sponsor of another show here. Jet Designs, look them up. JET Designs on Facebook. He's got everything you need for all your custom die-cast needs and also sports logo and memorabilia. We appreciate him coming back and sponsoring the show here today. And as usual, and as always, Coastland Apparel. Use promo code BIRDTV for 15% off of your order. Now, let me thank everybody and really put a little extra one on this one, man. I want to thank everybody that supported us all year long. We appreciate you guys staying with us, and we got a lot of things planned for 2022. But if you're listening right now on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Prime Music, Audible, SportsWire, Online Radio, Fridays at 6:15, right after the Thomas Bryce Show, and throughout the week. If you like the pod, please tell a friend and leave us a great 5-star review on whatever platform you listen from, and we really do appreciate you listening to us and supporting the podcast here. All right, boys. Well, as officially right now, we sit exactly 1 month away.
That's right.
From the Royal Rumble, man. 31 days. 30.
Oh, yeah.
31 days. We will be in St. Louis.
I feel like
marking out
when
when
come out swinging, dude. We're going to see something. I just feel like it's going to be something legit. It's going to be big this year.
like Hacksaw Jim Duggan being
Yeah.
number like
I mean,
27.
maybe not quite that big, you know. I mean, maybe not quite that big, but you know.
I mean, I would shit my pants if Hacksaw Jim Duggan entered the Royal Rumble.
He might shit his pants.
I mean,
Yeah,
I would
he
too.
will. Nah, he's probably
Just as
got
long
some
as he
good
didn't get hurt
adult
on the way
diapers.
out. That's the only thing I would.
Hey, he looks great now. Like
He does. All right, as we've been doing lately, it's time for the pop of the pod. What I've been doing here is I kind of been focusing on wrestler entrance music from the past, from today, and we've been listening to those here. So to round out the year, I kind of thought about somebody that I kind of saw come up in the ranks of the independent scene. He was on it for a long time ago. He was on the independent scene for a long time ago. This man was absolute royalty at AAW. When he finally signed his NXT contract, he had a big going away. If you were any part of AAW, you know who this guy is. And he had a big send-off, and now he is the NXT champion once again. Former member of DIY. Now, this is his original song original entrance song by himself here. It's called No One Will Survive.
No one will survive. Yeah, no one will survive. There's no escape now. No one will survive.
I love Blackheart. Tommaso
Not
Ciampa.
Blackheart.
You know, I
Year.
forgot about that at the beginning, so it kind of scared me.
It kind of scared you there a little bit.
I got a little startled,
Tinkle in your pants a bit.
just a bit, a little,
All right. Well,
just a bit.
hope you, cross your legs, man, because you're up, man. This day in wrestling history and
You're up.
birthdays. What do you got for us here, AJ?
This day in wrestling history and birthdays. Today is the 29th of December, 2021. For all of you
Mark's out there.
So, got a couple of interesting things. First of all, Dirty, this is for you. In 1876, today, 1876, James Owens beats James McLaughlin in New York to win the American Collar and Elbow title, ending McLaughlin's second reign.
No kidding.
I like how that one was for Dirty.
Yeah, no,
It was,
for
yeah.
me
Well,
because
because
it was
he's probably
blanks.
walking to school uphill in the snow while that was taking place.
Just
I remember
100
that
years
night, man.
after the
I
Declaration of
remember that night.
Independence.
My parents let me stay up to see who was going to win the collar and elbow trophy. Like,
Yeah.
I was so excited. I couldn't go to sleep. So
You had your James Owens
Yes.
pantaloons on. And
yes, I did. And whoever the other guy was, I hated him.
James McLaughlin? Yeah, he was.
It was
Yeah.
the James, Battle of the
Hill.
Jameses.
Right? What the hell that
It was
guy
a battle of the Jameses. Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Oh, very
In
nice.
1996, WCW Starrcades took place at the Nashville Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee. Roddy Piper defeated then WCW champion Hollywood Hulk Hogan. This is one of Hulk Hogan's few losses. He only had like 8 in his entire career or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
So in true WCW fashion, they didn't make it clear that this was a non-title match. So when Roddy Piper won, the crowds were like, "Oh, he won the champion!" Blah blah. And then they had to be like, "Oh, by the way, P.S. That was not for
That wasn't for the title.
That was not for the title."
That? They forgot to say it before the match.
Yeah, like they didn't announce it or anything.
It wasn't. Oh man, in those days. Well, I was gonna say 90s. I don't know. I'll say in those days, like it's usually a stipulation.
Yeah,
everybody knew about before.
no one had any idea
champ.
that it was.
Just kidding.
No, no. He's still a champ. Don't worry about it. I can totally see though, like it actually being for the championship, but Hollywood Hogan had Hulk Hogan had creative control, so he would have been like, nope.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's still mine.
Don't feel it.
Okay, so a big one in 1998. This was the Raw taping in Worcester, Mass. Worcester. When Mankind beat The Rock for the WWF Championship. And it aired actually 6 days later up against an episode of WCW Monday Nitro. And that was when Kevin Nash was defending against Hulk Hogan for the WCW Championship. And then in true, again, WCW fashion, midway through Nitro, Tony Schiavone gives away that Mankind would be winning the belt on Raw that night.
Yep.
And he says the line, "Oh, that'll put the butts in the seats." And then right after he said that, Nitro lost like 600,000 viewers when people switched from Nitro to Raw in order to watch Mankind winning. And that was and that night Raw beat Nitro and would from there on out. That was like the beginning of the end for the Monday Night Wars. Was that line uttered by Tony Schiavone right there, that fucking carny.
Yeah, that was some dirty, low-down stuff there, man. But, oh, yeah, Mankind's going to win the belt. Like, I remember that, man. Like, yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, me too. Guess what I did? So, I switched over. And I was like, I fucking love Mankind. I don't give a shit about Hollywood Hogan or Kevin Nash. Here I go.
I probably stayed in WCW. It's like, Mankind's going to win. I'm pretty sure I flipped over there when it was time for him to win it or so. But, yeah.
So that was a lovely tiara. Birthday. So that's what I had for this day in wrestling history. There's a couple other things like Disco Inferno lost a TV title. Who gives a shit? Birthdays. It's a very slow day for birthdays.
By born the end of the year, huh?
No, apparently people didn't like to hump on March 29th. So 9 months later, there's one birthday. It's Justin Roberts. However, Justin Roberts, by the way, 1979, current AEW ring announcer.
28th. What do they call him? The Dapper Yapper? Is that what they call him?
That. He's no Joe
I think that is what they call him.
The Dapper Yapper.
Yeah.
On yesterday, however, one of my favorites of all time, the genius Lanny Poffo was born in 1954. I love the genius. He's so awesome.
Often referenced Lanny Poffo on this podcast.
Yes,
like
all
he comes
the time.
Up for it's funny.
He should be talked about in every pod, like even podcasts about like birds or something. They should bring up Lanny Poffo because he's so awesome. And then the 27th, there were quite a few birthdays. We have Cesaro.
Hey!
Born in 1980, which means I am 9 days older than Cesaro. That makes me sad for me.
You can be a wrestler.
We have Bart Gunn in 1965.
American Superman. That didn't sound right.
I can't. Look at my noodle arms. I can't swing anyone.
You could have a finishing move called the Fettuccine Alfredo with your...
That's it. Like I just whip people with my noodle arms?
Exactly, yeah.
Like kind of...
Yeah, call it the waylay. The dead arm.
China was born in 1972. I don't know the exact day that her porn career started, but she was born in 1972 on December 27th. And then Goldberg.
I would hope it wasn't any earlier than 1990.
Goldberg.
That would be weird. It would be very weird. Goldberg in 1966 was, headbutting his mom's womb, and he came out with
bodyguards.
Yes, like little baby bodyguards.
Or sheriffs,
came
or whatever.
Out. The
They
doctors,
walked him out of the womb.
like his mom was like giving birth on a smoke machine.
Over like 55.
Yeah, he's 55. 1966.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was born in a, came out in a smoke machine, and he blew smoke out of his mouth, and then the doctor's like, all right, he's okay.
Yeah.
That
he
is
had by the doctor, and he got a little trickle of blood on his head, right off the bat.
Yes, he's terrible. And then he botched his jackhammer to all the other newborns in the NICU. I don't know. And then tomorrow is Eddie Edwards, who was born in 1983. That is this day in wrestling history and birthdays for you, lovely, lovely marks.
Thank you. Primo, what you got, man? A lot of headlines going on. One just dropped here right before we went live, man. Talk to us.
Yep, there are a lot of headlines. I'm only going to talk about a few of them, though. I got about 5 here. So let's start with Seth Rollins did not attend the Madison Square Garden house show this past week. And it was later announced via his Twitter it was because of COVID.
COVID again. Boo.
Also, another Twitter COVID announcement came from Jake the Snake Roberts.
No.
He's got it.
Yep, that's what he said. He said it like he won a prize, though. He said, "I've got COVID!"
Like he yelled it.
Yeah, there was exclamation marks.
America.
Yeah.
Like
I did it!
Prize.
I wish... Yeah,
got me some of that COVID.
While I'm reading this, look up the actual tweet. It's like, he's like, I've been waiting for this day, or something like that. Anyway.
Finally.
Per Fightful Select, WWE has ended the twice-weekly COVID testing requirements for NXT and also the weekly testing for the main roster.
Huh. Interesting. Why do you suppose that is?
Yeah, why do you think they're not
got all these
test means positive results.
That's right.
So,
no testing means no cases.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Continue to tour.
He says, I've waited so long. Actually thought I was bulletproof. Yes, I've got COVID-19. Right there.
I've waited so long.
Jake the Snake. I've waited so long. Actually thought I was bulletproof. Yes, I've gotten COVID-19. I was reading it twice just to make sure I read it right the first time.
And there's like exclamation marks and everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Congratulations, Jake the Snake.
He did it.
Let's move on.
You did it.
So, I hope obviously we all hope you get better, Jake.
Absolutely.
And Seth, too.
And Seth.
Yeah, no, fuck you, Seth.
Of course. Also, good news here. Jim Ross has announced via Twitter that he is cancer-free.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah,
yes,
good
I
old
like
JR.
Yes, sir.
I like the
read
picture
his
of
book
foot,
if you
too.
haven't. Read it.
Oh, yes. Do it. It's amazing.
I actually have not read that one. Is it Grilling with JR?
No,
that's his podcast.
That's his,
or his
podcast.
cookbook or something.
His cookbook or something like that.
Yeah, I forget what this one's called.
The Joy of Cooking with Jim Ross.
It's got Under the Black Hat.
There it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Killer Cross. Here's a little snippet from Killer Cross. He was recently on Renee's Oral Sessions, and it's on his main roster attire while in WWE. He says, "So when I saw a picture of it, I showed it to her, being Scarlett.
Sure.
I started laughing, and then I said, I can get comfortable wearing this, but this is not going to go over in 2021.
Right.
He knew.
Right.
The people didn't want sex nipples. That time has come and gone.
Demolition 1.5.
Oh,
Right.
God, that was so bad. Poor
And then
Cody.
finally, Fightful Select has reported that as of today, Toni Storm has been released from the WWE.
That actually pisses me off. I love me some Toni Storm.
Me too. Next to Charlotte, she was kind of like my favorite kind of woman on the scene right now. I know they were wrestling each other in the program,
Crazy,
but
yeah. I literally saw them wrestle last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Tony was, man, she was like on fire, man. I'm talking like overseas, Japan, before she signed with WWE. She was a pretty big deal, man. But But yeah, man, I apparently, and I think you guys have seen some of the same stuff. She might have asked for it. Was possibly what I'm hearing.
That's early reports indicate that. Nothing concrete, but that is what early reports are indicating.
So, Primo, you were in DC last night for a house show.
Yes,
she
sir.
wrestled on it. Talk to us about the house show, man. Tell us.
So, house show. Let's right out the gate. The pod made it to the jumbotron.
Fuck
we did.
Yes, that was so
We
awesome.
have proof.
Yes, we did.
Have proof. I have to get that up. Primo got a tweet with Sit Down Mark's podcast on. Thanks to Byron Saxton as well.
Byron Saxton.
Yeah, that's right. Byron Saxton came out. I tweeted another. The hashtag was hashtag WWE Washington DC, and he came out. I had tweeted out. The bloodline, we the ones. And he said, "Hey, we got our guy Primo here.
God damn it,
supporting the bloodline." So I mean, I'm just basically famous now, guys. And
you are you are.
He liked
well
my
earned.
tweet later on in the day. So
I marked the fuck out when you sent us that. I was like, oh my god,
so cool, dude. You should have seen me when I saw it. And the show hadn't even started yet.
Right.
But, so when the show does start, they came out right away, and unfortunately, Byron, he was the host of what do you even call him of the show, and
MC.
Unfortunately, he was the host.
No. The unfortunate part was he had to give the bad news that certain superstars were not able to attend last night. Those being Roman Reigns and Xavier Woods.
Oh,
I imagine both of them are
no tribal chief
quarantining. Yeah.
Right. So obviously it was advertised that there would be a 6-man with the Bloodline versus Drew and the New Day. Well, right out the gate, we had Drew came out, interrupted Byron. Then he ends up getting jumped by the Usos. Who then get the odds get evened by Sir Kofi.
All right.
So Sir Kofi comes out, and they form to the Washington, D.C. crowd. They formed what is now known as Drew Day.
Lends itself right to it.
Yep.
Drew
Day. They basically agreed on a match later in the night, a tag team championship match. The actual opening match was Ricochet versus Sami Zayn.
But that was an entertaining match.
That was sick. Awesome. I loved it.
Yeah,
nice.
My son, so a lot these days the kids say OP, overpowered.
I don't know what that means.
That's something they say. My son, who's a 10-year-old, and he saw Ricochet doing all this flippy shit everywhere. He goes, "Oh my god, that guy in the blue pants is so OP!"
Oh wow!
Yeah, so he was like marking out for Ricochet, and Sami Zayn was just eating up all the heel shit. It was funny. It was so funny. While he was doing that though, I was thinking I do kind of miss face Sammy a little bit.
I do too. I loved face Sammy. I mean, I get that he's great as heel, but
right. That ends up in another. So I don't even understand. Like this part was just interesting because right after that, the match ended up getting broken up by the
Madcap Moss.
Madcap Moss.
No, it was
useless.
It was Ivar and somebody else. It was like it was a hodgepodge of superstars. It ends up being a 6-man. Yeah.
Just throwing everyone out there like
right. So and then Drew comes out. I feel like I saw Drew all night. Drew McIntyre came out so many times. The best match though, and the hottest like pop of the night was definitely the women's championship triple threat match. When Sasha Banks came out, the crowd freaking lit up. Like it was hot. She was super over in DC, as well as like I told Dirty earlier today. We're only 6 hours from Flair country.
Yes, we are.
When Charlotte came out, everybody was wooing. I was trying my best to get my son to woo, but he wouldn't do it.
Was he like, that's not OP?
He's like, why are you? I was like, woo! Like right in his face. Maybe that was scaring him a little bit.
You're getting it like baby Primo's face. Like,
Do it or else. You respect the queen. That's what I kept telling him was like, that's the queen. Anyway, that was the best match. The closer was Drew and Sheamus in a street fight.
Sure.
So it was a Drew McIntyre house show, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was basically Drew all night, which of course my wife didn't mind.
Yeah,
of course.
Well, they probably had a skeleton crew there. Whoever they could get there got there. They're probably saving people like Xavier and Roman for day one, because,
right?
You know,
and then they came out right away. Obviously cards always subject to change. We all know that. So,
sure.
Yeah.
But they at the beginning, Byron said, "Of course, we all doing this is what we do, and we do still want to give you the absolute best show we can." And they did. We were still thoroughly entertained.
Good. Nice. It would suck if you're like, that was the most boring thing. And first house show in 5 years, and all we got was.
No, I really enjoyed
Epico.
watching the Usos, and obviously Kofi Kingston is just a freaking joy to watch. He's funny.
Fun, man. Yeah, house shows are always fun too, and they can let loose a little more, and they interact with the crowd more, and it's great, man. Those guys are great, man. New Day, like they're perfect for.
Oh, they're great. Last time I saw New Day at a house show, they were heel, and it was like my brother and I were like. That was our favorite moment of that particular house show. Was just watching the New Day do heel things on a house show. It was amazing.
The last house show I went to before this one, the Usos were on that one too, but they were still the previous iteration where they wore the shorts and the face paint.
The Haka Usos.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep an eye on what happens with Tony here and see what's going on. I'm sure we'll probably end up finding out later. So, all right, time for the fan shout out of the week here. You can DM us on Twitter at SitDownMarks and let us know when and where you listen to the podcast, and we will shout you out on the pod. This week's pod, guys, we're going to shout out a guy that me and AJ met this year going to some St. Louis Anarchy shows. He just he's been a big supporter of the pod. And he retweets us and puts our stuff out there. He really loved the Billy Starks interview last week we got from him. So, Dylan, one of our biggest supporters, thank you, my friend. Happy New Year, sir. We got to get that picture together next time we're at a show. And we appreciate all the support that you give us, brother. And we'll see you soon. Guys, Dylan, man, one of our biggest supporters, man. Awesome to finally have him as a shout out here.
Absolutely, I agree. Go ahead, AJ.
He's fucking really cool guy too. Like he's very cool to talk to.
He is,
and because we've seen him at 2 house shows now, both times. Like he's just fucking awesome, and he had that awesome costume on. So thank you.
Funk too.
Yeah. What's his Twitter? Everyone go follow him. I know I have it on my thing, but. I don't remember what it is. Go look him up. It'll be fun.
Yeah. So of course. Thank you, Dylan, for being a supporter of the show. I haven't met you personally, but I do see you retweeting and sharing all of our stuff, and we really appreciate the support and appreciate you shouting at the pod. And we are glad to have you as a supporter.
Everybody go follow Dylan Hager. It's at DHAGERJ15. This guy, he goes to a ton of independent shows. And if you want to know anything what's going on about the Midwest, man, this guy's always on top of it. So might have to get him on the pod here soon, man. But thank you, sir, for promoting the show here. All right, here we go, AJ. It's time to bring you in, man. You had a little time at the TV, I'm sure, while you were a little Johnny Sicky with your
Johnny Sicky
here. So, all right, AJ, it's time to bring you on in here.
AJ's movie of the week.
So, everyone, for my movie of the week, I actually watched several movies of the week. I'm only going to talk about one because
just one.
Well, first I was like, I have not watched anything with The Rock in it. I'm like, I'm going to have a Merry Rockmas since I can't fucking do anything.
Tooth Fairy.
So I didn't watch The Tooth Fairy. So I started with like first I was like, all right, I'm going to talk about all the Fast and Furious movies that he's been in. So I watched 4 fucking Fast and Furious movies, and I have no idea where one started and one ended. Nor could I tell you the difference between any of them. They are all
more than I've ever watched.
I have seen every single one. I am. It's a franchise that I do enjoy. They're all the same, but I like to watch them still.
Well, don't ever watch them back to back because you're gonna be like, where am I? My notebook just had like my nose bleed blood on it because apparently my nose started bleeding because my brain is dying. So I was like, I'm not talking about those. So if a quick recap of the 4 movies that I watched, family and cars go vroom.
Right.
So I decided
Explosion.
I also watched little obscure movie for you guys, Southland Tales. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before.
Nope.
It is starring The Rock and Sarah Michelle Gellar and what's his name? Stifler, Scott Henry William.
Scott?
Yes, there you go. Sean William Scott. And it's super goddamn weird. The Rock plays an action star / secret.
Was this like before he got like really popular? Or
this is in like 2006. Yes.
Okay.
And it's made by the same guy who made Donnie Darko, which is of course weirdo cult classic. And this movie is pretty much the same. It's like an end of the world / like Sean William Scott plays 2 characters. The Rock plays 2 characters. Everyone plays 2 characters.
Gotcha.
But I can't even begin to tell you what it's about, but I recommend going and watching it because it's weird and really kind of cool. And The Rock plays 2 characters, and this is like when he starts becoming like The Rock. Okay. And he's awesome in it. Like he's great. So
here's the summary. With the United States under the threat of nuclear attack, the lives of several people converge in a dystopian Los Angeles. Movie star boxer Santaros,
that's The Rock. Yep.
Plans his next film with the help of ambitious porn actress Krista Now,
Sarah Michelle Gellar,
and troubled policeman Roland Taverner.
Sean William Scott.
Meanwhile, Marxist revolutionaries, greedy corporations, and secretive government agencies pursue their separate agendas among a paranoid populace.
Yes, that is accurate. At one point, there's a flying ambulance. Like, it's just...
What?
It's amazing. Just go find it and watch it. I think I watched it on Tubi TV. It's amazing and weird, and The Rock is awesome. So go watch it. It's great. Highly recommend, even though it's bizarre, and you're going to hate me if you actually watch it, because you're going to be like, this fucking sucks. But go watch it anyways. It's great. I loved it. I'm going to watch it again.
All right. Thank you, sir. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Once again, let's talk about what we're going to talk about.
Talk about.
As usual, the weekly recap. We're going to do our WWE Day 1 preview, which is coming up this weekend. We are covering our last ECW pay-per-view tonight. This one was 2001, Guilty as Charged. It was the official last pay-per-view under the ECW old regime.
You can tell, too.
Yeah, you can tell, too, as they filed bankruptcy about 2 months after this pay-per-view. So we're going to talk about that one as well. And we're going to be doing a few more things here to end the year. We're going to be doing our continuing our virtual promotions with tonight. We're going to be drafting tag teams.
Yeah.
We're drafting 5 tag teams each. We'll be going over who we drafted last time. With our singles wrestlers also. And then also, too, tonight, I'm going to bring you guys a really funny promo school. This one is a little bit different. This one's a little bit sideways from what we normally have here on the show. This one, if you know of a comedian named Theo Vaughn, he has a alter ego named the Rat King.
The Rat King.
He is a wrestler. And I'm going to play an awesome response to his alter nemesis, I guess, so to speak, Mystic Rick. Apparently, Mr. Mystic Rick, he likes to talk shit about us wrestling folks. He thinks we're beneath him, right? He thinks we're below him, right? Like we're not worthy. Well, the Rat King comes back with a promo of a lifetime, and he comes back and saves all of our wrestling dignity, so to speak. So he's got a word for Mystic Rick. So I'm gonna play that one for you here later. So we got an action-packed show here, boys. Let's get rolling. But AJ, first, tell the masses where they can get that Mark's merch here, my brother.
Well, masses, if you want some t-shirts, baseball tees, such as the one I am currently wearing right now, ta-da, sweatshirts,
Very nice.
coffee mugs, baby clothes,
Baby clothes.
toddler clothes, all clothes of all sizes and peoples, flags, things, notebooks, stuff. Go to tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks. That is tpublic.com/STORES/SITDOWNMARKS for all the Marks goodness.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big B.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
and you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right, time to get to the weekly recap here. As usual, I'm going to get you guys started off with the independent wrestling roundup here coming up for... My bad, got the wrong one. For the week of December the 31st, obviously, this weekend. All right, first up, though, big show tomorrow night, guys. Thursday night, December the 30th, AAW in Chicago, Illinois, at the Logan Square Auditorium. This is their last show of the year. It's called Unstoppable. It's going to be available on Fight TV. Main event there, Matt Fitchett versus Rich Swann for the AAW title. And also make sure you guys tune in. Only $15 to see an awesome card. Silas Young is going to be there. Juice Robinson is going to be there. But mainly our guy, Mr. Hashtag Big Arms, Big Paychecks, Hartenbauer is going to be there with Johnny E. Bravo. So make sure you guys tune in to check him out, and then tune in here next week on the pod. Hartenbauer's going to be here, so we're going to be talking about everything that happened on the show, but want to remind you guys that show will be available on Fight TV. All right, moving on here. January the 1st, GCW Die For This, featuring a first ever Do or Die Rumble for a number one contenders match to the GCW Championship. This is taking place in Atlantic City, and you can also check out this one all on Fight TV as well. And the day before, also GCW is doing a show called Till Infinity the night before. So two big shows going on this weekend for GCW. Also another big show going on this weekend. I talked about this a while back, but it's finally happening this weekend. Beyond Wrestling up in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Worcester.
Lovely town there. We got a 3-day event going on in conjunction with Action Wrestling, Southern Underground Pro, H2O Wrestling, Limitless Wrestling, and more to put together what they call Restival. It's kind of like a festival, but it's Restival. All of these shows are live on IWTV. I had to say that because remember I said that a long time ago.
Thank you for explaining.
You're welcome.
Fun.
3 days of wrestling there. So at the White Eagle. So make sure you guys check that out. All of these are going to be on IWTV this weekend, I believe. So big shows there going on. Also, too, want to make a quick note here before I get to the last few little shows here. Primo, me and you talked about this last week, man. Okay, so Randy Myers is the official Defy champion, okay? I had to go and check this out. So Randy Myers is the Defy champion up there up in Seattle for Defy Wrestling. Now, he hasn't been able to defend the title. So what they did was they had a interim match between Brody King and Christopher Daniels. Was for the interim title. So Christopher Daniels ended up winning that match. And the reason why I want to tell you guys that is because that match is on YouTube now for free. It's on Defy's YouTube channel, and I watched it probably about an hour before the show here today, and it was pretty awesome, man. And I was, I have a soft spot in my heart for Christopher Daniels because he's I mean, he's great.
Because he's awesome.
He's awesome. He's stuck it out through a lot of shitty wrestling years. You know what I mean? And he's just one of those guys. That that you just kind of hang your hat on and hope the best for always. So I was happy to see them or see him win this match. So go check that out. So all right, last two shows I want to talk about here. Our local shows that we are involved with. Zawa Live Wrestling next Saturday, January the 8th. This show is called Speak to Me, 6 p.m. at Sterling, Illinois, at the Moose Lodge there. That show is sponsored by the Sit Down Marks, and then also we're going to be at Iron Spirit Pro, obviously, January the 28th. That show is listed for the Normal Community Center, as usual, where we were last time. So that is the Indie Roundup for the week here, gents. Not a whole lot of indie wrestling there, but it's all kind of cranking back up here. So, all right, AJ, before you get to the AEW recap, man, I wanted to make note of a recent passing of an independent wrestler that I got to see wrestle quite often. He was from around here where we're from. Here around Illinois, excuse me. The wrestler name of Marcus Crane. He had just recently passed away. He was I didn't ever meet him personally. I didn't ever get to talk to him, but I did get to see him wrestle on tons of occasions. Great wrestler. He put it all out there. He did a lot of wild shit, which was always, kind of fun to watch. He did his own thing, man. And, he got it over. I always thought, man, he was a great seller, just a great guy in wrestling, over the last 2 days. There's been a lot of, emotions being poured out on Twitter on how good of a guy he was. And so that right there says a lot. So I just want to make sure we recognize Marcus Crane. So rest in peace. AJ, get us rolling, man, with the AEW recap, man. Lots of good stuff going on right now, man. What you got for us here? What happened in the week of Dynamite and Rampage?
Well, there was some wrestling that happened in the week of Dynamite and Rampage, eh?
They were at my favorite arena. My favorite arena for wrestling, Greensboro Coliseum.
Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Kakalaki. I saw a ton of wrestling there. I took Lindsay, kayfabe, my wife. We went on a date, our first wrestling date. We went to Greensboro Coliseum.
Yeah, what'd you see? What was it?
Smackdown. We seen Smackdown show.
Smacking it down, baby.
Yep, back when it was on a Tuesday.
Smacking it down.
Smacking it down.
Had a buddy of mine that was yeah.
Did you see Carlito? I imagine Carlito was there.
I don't. You know what? The two things I try to remember about that, I do remember by that, is I remember Kurt Angle being on the show. I know, and I remember it was Captain America, Hollywood, Captain America Hogan time.
03, 04?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, from the Cackalacker Greensboro Arena.
That's what they should change the name to as of right now.
We start with...
What?
with Adam Cole versus Orange Cassidy. Which was a fun match. Orange Cassidy. It's weird. He will get stale, but then every now and then you're like, okay, that's still pretty goddamn entertaining when he does.
I feel like they're picking him back up a little bit here.
I mean, which I'm okay with. Like, I still don't think he'll go anywhere, but I mean, he's entertaining again. My brother would strongly disagree, but
the commentator comments too make me think that they're kind of going to start a push for him.
Yeah, which I'm okay. I mean, he doesn't win this match, but the reason he doesn't win this match is because we have the AEW debut of one Kyle O'Reilly. I pretty much had the exact reaction that we talked about last week, where I was just like, meh, okay. Kyle O'Reilly's there, they'll reform the Undisputed Era, and they'll feud with, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and it'll be fun. But as far as like debuts go, I was like, man, cool. But I'm not the biggest Kyle O'Reilly fan.
Yeah, my favorite part about that was when the Young Bucks came out, like, hey, what the hell? You didn't tell us about this.
I know. I thought that was pretty. See,
Right.
that's why they're gonna have a little. I'll watch
I'm actually excited to see that tonight to see how they explain it.
Me too.
Let me say one thing though, AJ. I thought about you because we've been watching a lot of ECW lately.
Yes, we have.
You said you wish that somebody would bring back. Right?
Yes, I do.
I mean, that was the closest form that we had. What Riley and Fish did there, like
that is true.
Like they must be listening to the podcast, dude.
They are because they're going to bring back the.
They've got everybody listens to the podcast, dude.
Right, of course. So
Yeah.
I think that was a tip of the cap to you, AJ, because
Obviously
they
it was.
do it for you. So.
Yeah.
It'll be a bigger one when Finn Balor wins the Royal Rumble. Like, all right.
Well done. No, it's going to be even bigger when Griff Grifferson is the AEW champion.
You know, I wrote
AJ is
the
king of the Griff wagon.
the king of the driver of the Griff wagon.
Oh yeah,
I did write down Griff Grifferson sighting. That was it. I did
Sighting.
Because they were in his hometown.
He was sighted.
They're getting you acknowledging him is getting him that much closer to your spectrum.
Like he was he was sighted like outside of. He was at like a TGI Fridays drinking at Cosmo because that's what I imagined.
Sighted.
Griff
You know what annoys me about wrestling sightings, especially Brock Lesnar, when people are like, "Oh my God, I saw Brock Lesnar doing something completely normal."
Yeah, complete. Yes,
he was out having fun. Oh my goodness!
Leave him alone and let him have fun.
Fucking man, let him enjoy his day.
Griff Grifferson was drinking a Cosmo and asking to see the manager.
He was in his hometown, so he was.
That's what I imagine Griff Grifferson does. Drinks Cosmos.
Cosmo.
He probably got free Cosmos all night for being a hometown guy on TV.
Oh yeah. Anyways, okay, I turned into an absolute child for this match. It doesn't happen often, but every now and then something happens in wrestling where I revert back to 10-year-old AJ, and this match was one of those. It is Sting, Darby Allin, and CM Punk versus FTR and MJF. Yes. First of all, there's a lot of initials in this match. CMFTR MJF. There's a lot going on. So the
faction called the Alphabet.
Yes, yeah. All of them. They needed MSK there and just get everyone in there. So when they came out, Sting, Darby, and CM Punk, the face paint. I reverted to a child when they all had, like CM Punk had like the old school, like Stinger face paint, and Sting had CM Punk, the CM Punk fist on his.
This was my reaction was because Sting came out first, then Darby, then CM Punk. So Sting came out, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, wrestling with CM Punk, you paid a little tribute, you know. I was like, oh, that's cool. Then Darby comes out, I'm like, oh, he's got like a pink thing going on. All right. Yeah. Then CM Punk comes out, I was like, oh my God!
Yeah, right, yeah.
I was just like,
like your pop went.
Exactly. Just gradually increased.
Right.
It was
great.
So awesome. The match consisted of Sting being a, wrestling AEW god, like he'll never sell, and they're using him perfectly, by the way. Minimum bumps. Don't try and make him look like he's actually going to beat any of the up-and-coming guys.
I appreciate everything he tried in this match, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything he did, man, like, I'm just like, man, God bless this man. He's trying to go out right, man. Just be entertaining. And he's been putting CM Punk over lately. I love it.
Oh, yeah. And CM Punk, how about them CM Punk Scorpion Long Boys?
Love them. Love the Long Boys, especially the Scorpion Long Boys.
That's my favorite Sting. Is Long Boy Sting.
Long Boy Sting?
Yeah. Big Long Boy. Big long
I love
boy
me
Sting.
some Long Boy
Sting me in my Long John boy.
¿Qué pasa?
So, also FTR was amazing in this match. MJF, like, this match is just, it wasn't the greatest match ever, like, as far as
entertaining as fuck.
It was one of the most entertaining matches I've seen in a long, long time.
The only thing about it was Sting looks like an exhausted clown after a long day at the circus after this match.
Like, it looks like he needs to reapply. Like, what's the powder that they used to put on bald spots and stuff?
Yeah, he needs to comb his hair. Like
Yeah.
keep a comb in his pocket. Like that's the thing, man. Like your paint can be, it's his hair that makes it look like,
it's like
yeah, like he's tired of like making balloon puppy dogs and stuff.
He went to one too many birthday parties today.
Yes,
he's tired of making balloon puppy dogs.
Oh.
Like some kid like threw up a funnel cake on his oversized shoes. And...
Oh god, I know, man, right?
Oh, but yes, it's amazing. The faces, of course, get the win. FTR was the absolute all-star of this match.
Yep.
Everyone was over. Everyone was awesome. MJF and CM Punk feud is moving forward. Loved it.
When are we moving to TBS? Is that
that's
January?
next week?
Next week.
Yeah,
okay.
it's after
so
the first of the year.
tonight's last TNT, and then
I
Rampage is staying on TNT.
I believe so.
They have to, because why would they have a TNT
title?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just assuming, putting that together.
Isn't TBS owned by TNT?
Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah,
it's like those two and True TV and TNN and all that
Time
stuff.
Warner.
So something else that we need to talk about is Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Gavarra for the TNT title. Speaking of, I am actually okay with what happened here.
I was tipped off. Well, you guys tipped, not tipped like pissed. Like, okay, as soon as all they had to do was show me David Crockett on the screen, old NWA from Dusty beating Flair there in '85, whatever, all that stuff. Like, they had too much nostalgia stuff going for Cody to lose, or somebody was going to beat the shit out of David Crockett. And I didn't think that was going to happen. So
No.
I was going with the other way. I'm like, dang, Cody's going to freaking win. Sure enough. I mean, it was a great match. It was good.
It was.
But, I mean, what do we think about that, man? I mean,
crowd hated it. Hated it. But I think like that was kind of the idea, was to make the crowd.
I feel like this was way pre-planned too, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the first time they've been in Greensboro. But I feel like he looked at this date and said, I'm putting the strap back on myself, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, because there's a lot of nostalgia here.
Like, look, he takes the dart with a calendar. It's like,
oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Now I'm the 3-time TNT champion.
Yeah.
Good match, though, and I was okay. Of course, Cody Rhodes defeats Sammy Gavarra for the TNT title. With the Tiger Driver 98, the Crossroads apparently is a setup move now.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was cool as well. A couple of other things really quick. Hook versus Bear Bronson. Hook is a fucking world beater. He looks so cool.
God, dude. His t-shirt's selling like crazy.
Yeah.
Send Hook. WWE's trying to send Veer.
Oh, my God. That pissed me off.
Y'all see
so
that
much.
ridiculous tweet.
Send Veer.
Somebody's not even debuted yet. Well,
who thought that was a good idea? Who thought that was a good idea?
Vince. The KT Vince was like, oh, tell him to send Veer. Ow. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Okay. Try again.
Also, there was another match in the TBS tournament, and it was Ruby Soho versus Nyla Rose. Ruby Soho gets the win. I hope that she beats Jade Cargill for the title, because Jade Cargill bores the shit out of me, and Ruby Soho's awesome.
I think Jade wins. Ruby chases for a while. That's her first feud. So, Ruby don't need the belt. She's over already, kind of.
Well, Jade Cargill, she's squashing people, but she's not squashing anyone. Like, it's all enhancement talent.
Yeah, I mean that's my guess. One other note that I had, I'm really starting to like Wardlow, man. I'm getting on the Wardlow train, dude. Like I don't know. I'm just. I wanted to ask you guys too, because has he talked? Have we heard Wardlow talk? Like,
he's not really a talker.
Maybe a word or two there. Like, I want to know where the mic skills are.
He's still telling the story though, because it's clear that he's getting a little pissed off with MJF, and
he's going to be the one they kick out first.
Evolution story.
It is, yes.
I think he's going to be the one they kick out first.
I think that after the CM Punk feud, that'll be MJF's next feud, is with Wardlow, with him turning face, and
or maybe
Wardlow turning face, not MJF. If they ever turn MJF face, I will boycott I won't boycott. That's an empty threat.
Yeah.
Anybody, if you ever tried to go face whoever he was opposite of, they'd be like, "You remember that time you talked to fucking Brian Pillman in hell?"
Yeah. Remember that? You remember that time? Oh god. So that's what happened in AEW this week. Unless you guys have something else.
No, but I will say, fans, when you go to wrestling events, these are their places of work. Nobody comes to your place of work and says anything inappropriate or vulgar to you, or it makes you feel any certain type of way. So you should probably not hold up signs that treat people with disrespect whenever they're out there trying to perform for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Kurt agrees, by the way.
Go do something else. Not trying to highlight what this fucking douchebag did, but like fucking go do something else, dude. Like fuck out of here with that shit, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Like enough, dude. Like, I never wish for violence, but that's just when I wish somebody would, never mind. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like stupid. You know what I mean? It's just unnecessary, man. Unnecessary. All right, let me get to Impact Wrestling. I don't have anything, guys. This was a recap show of the 2021 year.
Let me get to Impact Wrestling.
Let me get to it. I got nothing.
Right,
I got nothing. Nope. Still, but yeah, it was just a recap show. They're doing this for 2 weeks. They're basically showing what's happened throughout the year. They're still pushing Hard to Kill, which is on January the 8th. This will be part 1 of 2 weeks of recap shows. So that's what's going to be happening in Impact. I guess they'll come back and button up right before they get to Hard to Kill. So, all right, sure. Primo, let's do WWE now, brother. What's going on?
Go to the WWE Smackity Down Christmas edition. So it was on Christmas Eve. It was your basic holiday edition of a WWE. They had their gimmicky matches. Charlotte Flair defeated Toni Storm once again.
Yeah.
Sad panda.
Paul Heyman had a sit-down interview with Caleb Braxton where he ponders his career. What's going to come of his career.
That was a pretty good promo, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
That was one of the highlights of the night, and then the other highlight of the night would be Sami Zayn has won the Intercontinental Championship Gauntlet match.
Yes.
Get his chance to face Shinsuke Nakamura.
I swear to God, if they put that on the pre-show of day one, I'm going to...
For the IC title.
Yeah. It's going to be on the pre-show, isn't it? Oh, God.
No way, dude.
Remember when...
No way, Jose.
Dirt. Remember when Shinsuke debuted against Sami Zayn and it was like the match of the year in NXT, and then they just were like, all right, now we're going to make you both suck for a long time. Yeah, that makes me sad.
Me and my mom actually watched SmackDown together because she is a big Charlotte fan as well. I was watching this thinking Tony's could win this here before, obviously she's released now, but then watching it, I was like, man, it seemed like a good time for an accidental title chase, kind of right before Christmas, or a title change, not chase, but title change. I was thinking, and they kind of had me for a minute, so, but that was good.
Mark.
For I know.
I will say, I have been thinking about Rumble surprises lately.
Excellent.
And two Rumble surprises that have come to my two Rumble surprises.
So you're gonna pick the winner, 2 surprises. All right.
Besides AJ winning, for the women's Rumble, it's just about time for Bayley to come back.
It is, and I was thinking that the other day too when she tweeted something out about how it's gonna be soon and blah blah blah. And I was like, Bayley winning the Rumble.
And my men's is Elias.
Repackaged Elias?
Repackaged Elias, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be
How are they going to repackage him? I love Elias, by the way.
I know, he had a tombstone. Elias is dead.
Yeah, I know. He's dead. He's dead.
I think they're going to have to hit hard for WWE. I think they're going to have to come out with something big. I think Ronda Rousey's winning the Rumble.
Ooh.
You think we get some Stratisfaction?
She's
That's
always
not really
available,
all
seems
that
like.
big though, because Trish Stratus is like when they bring back like the former like legends of the women's division, it doesn't ever surprise me.
Well,
It's
they
like,
let go so many women, so it's
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Asuka. I think Asuka might be.
There you go.
that's another one.
No,
Yeah,
good pick.
Asuka, yeah.
That could
Good
be a
one.
good pick. Yeah, I have no pick yet for the men's. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, my winner. Yeah, my winner is still AJ.
Yeah, winner's still AJ. Yeah. Surprises. Yeah. I don't know. That'd be good.
All right, moving on
Yeah.
for Monday Night Raw.
Rizzo.
Monday Night Raw.
Monday night.
Oh, Bearcat.
Arcade Bronament Finals are finalized.
The finals are finalized.
That's right. The finals are won by the Street Profits. They got all the smoke. They will go on to face RK Bro at Day 1 for the tag team titles.
Yeah.
At which point,
It's about the right move. Yeah.
it's about the right time. Yeah. So,
Break out soon.
next up, we had Kevin Owens. As you heard in our opener, Kevin Owens took all the credit for what happened in the previous week's Raw, but Rollins obviously chimed in via satellite because he was home for COVID. Yeah. Seth Rollins chimed in, but he said it doesn't matter whatever Kevin Owens said, and because he's going to be WWE champion come day 1.
Oh, love it.
So with him already being quarantined, with them taking out the mandatory testing, and with the CDC.
Stop, AJ.
With the CDC downgrading the quarantine time to 5 days.
This is the wrong time to be laughing.
All of that lining up, Seth Rollins could still be at day 1.
This is true.
Oh yeah, if they cut the
He
time,
really could be.
Yeah.
He'll be there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, but that's the final thing that happened on Raw. Miz and Maurice have a ceremony to renew their vows.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Their officiator was none other than Eric Bishop.
I'm back. Better than never.
You remember the one he did where he had the
mask
old man
on?
face? Yeah.
Yeah. That's so stupid.
Eric
Everyone
Bishop
knows it's
likes
you.
to officiate weddings.
He does.
Oh,
He's a
God.
wedding officiator.
Anyway, they're renewing their vows, and Edge comes out. He's like, "Oh, I'm not here to interrupt," and starts talking to him, and then eventually,
wait, do your Edge impression again?
I'm not here to interrupt, guys. I'm just here to.
You sound like Seinfeld. I'm not here to interrupt.
Oh man, I love you, Edge. That's not how you sound. No.
What's the deal with interrupting?
So the lights eventually go red. The Brood's music plays.
Oh, that was
and
awesome.
They proceed to get an ink bath.
There was ink. Like they had 1,000 octopi up in the rafters. Just squeezed them.
All over their white outfits.
I love those Brood touches to Edge's arsenal. Those are cool.
I forgot how cool the Brood music was, actually, too.
Yeah.
That
Take
was awesome.
care and remember the freaks come out.
Yes. They need to bring back the Brood.
I got a couple notes. So, no funny thing. So, all right. So, on purpose, right? Riddle goes, the 3 most dangerous letters in wrestling are K, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, it's not 3 letters, right?
Yeah,
well, Corey goes, well, that's actually 6 letters, but who's counting? I'm like, wait a minute. No, Corey, it's 5?
It's 5 letters.
Apparently you're not counting, Corey.
Yeah, apparently he's not counting. The funny turn. Do you see that? Where he acted like he was going to RKO.
Isn't that just good? He goes for another hug.
Yeah.
He goes for the hug, the fake. Yeah, that was funny, man. And then awesome. The other last 2 things I have written down was Dana Brooke forgot that in a mixed tag in WWE, if two guys are wrestling and they tag in one of the women, the other woman has to get in.
Has to get in, yeah.
Yeah. So the other one's tagged in, and she was standing there on the outside of the apron, and her tag team partner, was it the flippy guy with a 24/7 championship?
Reggie. Reggie.
Yeah, he's like on the side of the apron too, and he's like, you can see him. He goes like, "Get in, get in." She's there looking at him like smiling. She goes, "Oh."
Dana Brooke.
Oh, funny stuff. Yeah, and then the last thing I wrote was, "LOL, send Veer."
Send Veer. So dumb.
Lastly, we have NXT.
Yeah.
NXT, we have
do it.
Grayson Waller. Oh, that happened on Monday Night Raw too.
Yeah.
He was there. Nothing too crazy. Some jaw jacking. But next night though, Grayson Waller comes out and runs his mouth about AJ and talks about how he embarrassed him previous night on Monday Night Raw. Mm-hmm. Then he goes on to talk about his opponent of the night being Dexter Lumis, who's not able to compete, but out comes Odyssey Jones to take his place.
Still no new tights.
However, nope. However, Grayson Waller's ego is boosted a little more when he gets the victory over Odyssey Jones. After the match, AJ Styles announces that he will see Grayson Waller at New Year's Evil next week.
New Year's Evil.
Coming to save the NXT ratings? Is that what AJ said?
Yes.
And, AJ's like, I'm going to be there in 7 days, so make sure to tune in, folks.
Yeah, please watch it.
I mean, AJ is enough to draw, Yeah.
Yes.
He's amazing. So he's phenomenal, in fact.
He is.
What?
My dudes, MSK finally returns from their journey, and they say they're flying higher than ever. They challenge Imperium for the rematch, but Walter chimes in and denies them. However, the Shaman, Riddle...
What up, bro?
He chimes back in and challenges Imperium to a 6-man tag at New Year's Evil with Imperium versus MSK and Riddle. So another main roster star scheduled for New Year's Evil.
Not good.
Walter's coming too.
Yep.
Yes.
Right, yeah. So yeah, it's all of Imperium, yeah. The contracts, oh my gosh, this part had me rolling.
Me too, dude.
Yeah.
Me too.
The contract signing took place between North American champion Carmelo Hayes and Cruiserweight champion Roderick Strong for their title unification match at New Year's Evil. The most hilarious thing about this was when Trick Williams would speak, then Malcolm Bivens would translate the slang into English for Roderick Strong.
Yes.
But then he would turn right back around and whatever Roddy was telling Malcolm, he would speak in slang back to Trick Williams.
Yikes.
It was real funny. And then that's basically all the highlights of NXT. But this one last thing did happen. I thought was weird how they did it. So Boa attacks Solo Sikoa backstage, right? Well, when he attacks him, he has face paint on, and he's attacking him, and they're like, "Get off him, Boa," whatever. And then they pan away from him.
Yeah.
And then they do this weird edit, and they pan. They're like they're walking back to the scene, and Boa's standing there, minus face paint. Like, what's going on?
Right.
Yeah. So I guess it's like the Jekyll and Hyde type thing, like we're face paint, not face paint. He doesn't know what he was doing. I don't know if the face paint's supposed to be another personality or whatever, but the way they edited it was interesting because it's very rough.
It was. A couple notes I had for this was I love Andre Chase. He's starting to be my favorite thing about NXT.
Yeah, Andre Chase is great.
And I love the teachable moment. What we have here is a teachable moment. And I love the student section, but this match with Harlan, the guy that's coming out with Joe Gacy, just weird, kind of off. And what for the student section and that whole thing, like it just seemed like a little weird there. But did you guys see the Tiffany Stratton debut?
Yes.
Did y'all know anything about her previously?
Was
she an athlete or?
She looks like because she was like all around tennis, gymnast, like
Right.
that was what they were showing in the promo package.
She doing a daddy gimmick? Is that what she's doing?
Like a sugar baby?
Yeah, that's what it so like that's what she said in the vignette. You know that daddy says I'm ready for the big time.
Right,
or,
that's
know,
right,
like,
something like that. Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know. So
The
she
buff,
debuted
the buff Barbie doll. Is that
the
what
buff
she-
Barbie doll, and then last note I had was I thought Raquel Gonzalez has gotten a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was a little stiff there for a while. But I think
they're putting her back into the title picture. So, and speaking of that, I do have the New Year's Evil match lineup for next week.
Yep.
We have Riddle and MSK versus Imperium. We have the title unification match. And you think they're doing this because the Cruiserweight Championship is just kind of like meh.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah.
Put
So
some stank on it.
Put
Title
some
unification
stank
match,
on it.
between North American champion Carmelo Hayes and Cruiserweight champion Roderick Strong. Like, Roderick Strong definitely deserves to be a champion, but the Cruiserweight Championship itself is like, they're not, it's not what I see, what I think a Cruiserweight Championship, whenever in this particular iteration anyway.
I think they are struggling to make people care about their belts.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that I don't care about
the
them.
last time I cared about the North, and this is not a knock at them right now, but I just, seriously, the last time I cared about the North American Championship was whenever, Jonah, what was his other name?
Jonah Rock. Bronson Reed.
Whenever he
Bronson
had it.
Reed.
Yeah,
which...
Really, the most important time it was when Cole had it, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Cole, baby.
Or Keith Lee when he had both.
Yeah.
NXT Women's Championship triple threat match between Mandy Rose of Affliction, Raquel Gonzalez, and Cora Jade.
Wah.
So we got about 5 matches scheduled for that.
And this last one, main event NXT Championship match, Tommaso Ciampa versus Braun Breaker.
Guess who's winning that one?
Braun's
No way, dude. No way.
Yeah.
It's like the 4th match.
Yeah, he's gonna win it, and then that's when I officially tune out of NXT
forever.
Forever.
I cannot get behind this. The 2.0. I just can't do it. I keep trying. It's not working.
Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, and also, obviously, it wasn't added to this specific card, but also we also have AJ and Grayson Waller.
Yep.
Which I know we were talking about beforehand. Grayson Waller he's what's his name? Same character.
He's getting the push.
I don't like what they're doing.
Like. Well, that is that it for NXT there, Primo?
Yes, sir. That is it.
Well, that is it for our weekly recap there, sponsored by Jet Designs. Now it's time to move on to our next part of the pod.
This is Levi Cooper, and you're listening to the Sit Down Marks with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Thank you there, Big Tucky. Sorry I interrupted you there. My bad. All right, so the Dropkick discussion of this month, boys, has been ECW. We've been watching a lot of crazy pay-per-views. This is the last one tonight here. We'll talk about it here when it's all over, but this particular one we're talking about here tonight is the final one of December. It's ECW 2001 Guilty as Charged.
Guilty as Charged.
Now this event, you can see it on Peacock. It was originally held January the 7th, 2001 at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York, New York. Now, this was the final event for the old ECW regime. Now, they didn't bill it as, this is the final show because, or at least they didn't tell anybody. They would file for bankruptcy 2 months later after this pay-per-view. But
whoops.
Yeah, so it was business as usual here. As this was the third pay-per-view and the final one named The Guilty as Charged as it being the final one. There was only 3 of them, and they were all held in January. There were about 2,500 people in attendance. I couldn't find any pay-per-view buys on the file, anywhere on the internet that said how many the actual bought this pay-per-view. So, But like I said, 2 other previous guilty as charged pay-per-views had been held. The main events were those were the very first one was Taz versus Shane Douglas, and then the middle one right before this one was Mike Awesome versus Spike Dudley. So yeah, all 3 of these were held in January. The previous pay-per-view was held in December, was called Massacre on 34th Street. Steve Carino had defended the ECW title against Jerry Lynn, just incredible, but retained. Then Sandman stole the title from Jack Victory, who was with Carino at the time. And so that's where we are leading into this pay-per-view. As I said, this pay-per-view was slated as basically everything that ECW had been as far as feuds. You know, they were kind of buttoning up some old storylines, you know, letting some old feuds that had, you know, been going on for a while here. So they kind of button all these up. But, you know, you got to see kind of the core of ECW of, you know, what they were all made of here. You know, it kind of, although they didn't bill it as the final pay-per-view, it really kind of seemed like it a lot. So anyway, yeah, they finished up with their constant storylines and stuff that they had running for years. So, all right, let's get to the pay-per-view here. As we got, you know, the always crude and rude Joel Gertner comes out to cut a crude promo about himself, about how big his is. And then he was talking about a poor girl at ringside. He tells her that he is going to rub them and then lick on your little, which was very vulgar to fire up the New York crowd. As it was kind of funny that, you know, this pay-per-view was kind of chopped up, as we talked about. You know, I was kind of surprised that they left this part here on this deal. This was pretty vulgar here. So what are you guys' thoughts here coming up to the very first match here so far?
Up to the very first match I have, I just wrote at the beginning, because they had a long video package. At the beginning, I put, this is an ECW produced pay-per-view that leads straight into an intro. Like, I was confused because they didn't do the cold open with Joey Styles. Yep. And I said that the intro package was nice. I liked the music; it wasn't too aggressive. But then then I kind of felt like I was watching some kind of late night highlight show at 2 a.m. Right.
Perfect.
About 3.5 minutes into it, I realized I was still watching this video package.
Oh my God.
So fucking long.
I know, it is.
Then afterwards, I just wrote super vulgar right out the gate. I would not have, at this point in my time, like at this, what, 2001 it was? I was 12. There's no way I would have been able to watch this.
No. So I all have something similar. I wrote the opening package is Rhino giving pile drivers. The music loop is, it was killing me because it was the same 12 seconds looped over and over, and it lasted so long. I wrote end this opening. It was like 7 minutes, I swear.
It was so long.
It was killing me. As we're Justin Incredible's jorts, I would like to talk about jorts for a minute.
Sure.
What's with jorts?
Jort yourself.
Go jort yourself. It's the dumbest thing ever. This is 2001. Jorts, they're not I don't think I've ever owned a pair of jorts in my entire existence. At least not since I was like 6. I don't understand.
Not that you've ever purchased.
No.
Right,
No.
Yeah.
Even my mom was like, "No, jorts are fucking stupid. We're not gonna give you jorts. Here's some fucking khakis, like an actual human."
It's a Bugle Boy shirt. Go wear it.
I don't get it. It makes you look like a carny. I'm going to say the word carny a lot during this pay-per-view, by the way.
Yes, you are.
But that's what I had, was the music was killing me. The jorts were killing me. The 19-minute long looped music of fucking Rhino giving pile drivers was killing me. Not a good start, ECW.
Yeah, and then I just put, it was, the match hadn't started yet, but I did write that I had no idea that Joey Matthews and Christian York were from Fairfax, which is right down the road from me.
Is it really?
Yeah, like I drive through it all the time. And I said, as soon as I saw Don Callis, I was like, this fucking guy. That's the thought that went through my head.
This fucking guy.
Yeah, so that was the first one.
Yeah, that was the first match. Or the first opening, anyway.
Yeah, and so we had Cyrus, aka Don Callis. Speaking of Carney, ain't that what Christian calls him? Carney,
fucking Carney. Yeah.
So him and Jerry Lynn versus Christian York and Joey Matthews, aka Joey Mercury, they get attacked by the Baldies, which are hired thugs, as Joey described, and they attack York and Matthews pre-match to kind of soften them up. Basically, we see Don Callis with hair. This is just funny. Right?
It was weird.
You know, like we used to see him with hair. Now we're used to not seeing him with hair. Jerry Lynn delivers a cradle pile driver, and Cyrus Callis pins Matthews to win after the Baldies destroyed him. Not much commentary on this match at all. It's like they were working out audio problems.
Yeah.
You know, there.
That's actually what it is too. Yeah.
Yeah, then post-match, Lynn cuts a promo that he has jobbed for 12 years and that he is now the whole fucking show, mocking RVD and saying that he's not fucking jobbing no more, that it's his show now. And then officially, finally comes the official intro after an ECW tribute video proceeded with the iconic ECW music, and then they come back with the next match contestants already in the ring. So what do you guys think about this first little schmozzy shit here?
This was a very confusing opening segment.
Yes! It was. And I did my best to explain it.
Right,
that was better than I did.
I was wondering why it was so damn quiet until Joey Styles got on the mic, and then he was just as confused as I was. And then I put, did Jerry Lynn just burp into the microphone?
I think he did. Yeah, I forgot about that. I think he did.
Because he went. All right, first of all I have for this, I have who are these two bald fellas? And then when Jerry Lynn took the mic, he goes, because I'm Jerry.
I'm Jerry fucking.
I'm Jerry.
And then I just wrote, oh, wait, there's another intro?
I know.
Right, I know.
What is happening here?
I know. I thought I missed I'm like, they always do the music. Did I miss the music? And that was after all that shit. So
this is a very good sign of what's to come too throughout the whole show.
Right.
It was I don't like when we broke the matches down, like who was gonna take what. I'm like, wait, where does my next match start? I'm like,
honestly, I had a hard time figuring out where mine started. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh. All right, man. So we get to this second match. Danny Doering and Roadkill, who were ECW legends, defended the ECW tag team titles against Hot Commodity with Elektra and Chris Hamrick at ringside with his big rebel blazing.
Oh my god!
Back that he always wore back in those days. He was actually from kind of close to the same town my dad was from, so I watched Chris Hamrick wrestle a lot growing up. Let me say that. So Elektra and Chris Hamrick were a ringside. You know, they would end up trying to help, but it would end up backfire, and it would help the champs retain. But post-match beatdowns happen, and then Nova returns, a.k.a. you guys probably recognize him as Simon Dean, Supernova. They have a match. Nova wins over Hamrick. Post-match craziness again. Spike Dudley comes out to help Nova, and they basically clear the ring there. And then so that was it for that little a bit of craziness.
All I have for that one is one of them. I don't remember if it was Cyrus or Joey was talking about because I don't remember who it was. Somebody exited the ring like they were going to choke Elektra, and they said he's going to choke her like a chicken, and there's a lot of breast meat on that bird.
Yeah, a lot of vulgar, disgraceful women comments.
Oh my god,
That's why I was surprised it was left in there. Yeah, I got one coming up here for you here too. What you got, AJ?
So I had, first of all, did Joey Styles just say Confederate currency? Turns out, yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
I put, who are these carnies? No wonder this company folded. Why is Easy Money wearing a fucking thong? Why is that a thing? I don't get it. And what's his name? Did he do an F5? Like, is that where the F5 came from? Like, they called it an Amish bomb, which I thought was hilarious because I wrote,
from Roadkill, right?
They don't have bombs; they're pacifists. Like, there's no such thing as an Amish bomb. Yes,
oxymoron.
Get the fuck out of here. I did like the finisher though. I thought the finishing was pretty cool. And then I wrote, I'm pretty sure that Joey Styles wants to bang Nova because he kept just being like, oh, he's so ripped, he's so fit. Rah, 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 rah. I'm like, he definitely wants to bang Nova, and that's what I had for that match. Still didn't even know that it was a match. I'm still very confused during this whole pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was, man. Like I said, we watching this, I knew we were going to have a hard time trying to explain this one. But moving on here, next up we got a Steve Carino promo. Now this one where it gets really raunchy. He's basically looking at Francine. Francine is doing this, I'm going to only bang whoever's the champion kind of gimmick, So basically Steve Carino comes up to her and, and he says, I'm going to go out here. I'm going to retain this title later. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to basically, I'm going to bang you. And so basically that's how that all goes down. I just kind of laugh. I'm like, man, ECW. But moving on next to the next match here, my last match I'm going to cover, and I'm going to kick it over to AJ. This match is Tommy Dreamer versus C.W. Anderson in an good old-fashioned I Quit match. They pretty much did everything, the tables, the canes, the chairs, etc. Lots of blood. Dreamer, basically ended the feud with the Dreamer Driver, a.k.a. the Spicoli Driver that Joey called it, basically, he made C.W. Anderson say "I quit" after he put him through a table, and then he kind of choked him across his mouth or his head or something like that.
It was like across his eyes.
Yeah, it was like the rubber part around the table.
table.
So, kind of funny spot there. But yeah, the cable around to poke across his eyes or his head, and then they shook hands after the match as Dreamer's. Generic ripoff of Alice in Chains' Man in the Box plays in the background.
It's so bad.
Yeah, so that's how that match ended. Just a lot of what you would expect from Dreamer and C.W. Anderson. What do you guys think about this?
I only had one thing, and I just wrote the dumbest line of this match was Joey's talking about C.W. Anderson potentially ending the career of Tommy Dreamer. And Cyrus goes, well, that's never been done before. No one's ever ended the career of Tommy Dreamer. I'm like, well, no shit.
Yeah, he's currently wrestling.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Oh, God.
So, like, I Quit matches are always funny to me because all it is wrestlers wheezing into a microphone. Like, whenever they're like, okay, the ref will be like, oh, what do you say, Tommy Dreamer? And he's just like, It's like, that's the entire match. That's what you hear.
Right. However, the only other thing that was funny to me was the towel boy. Did you guys see towel boy?
Oh, the towel boy.
Yeah.
Like Tommy Dreamer got presents, and one was a fucking barbed wire or razor wire. The other one was cookie sheets, and towel boy got in there. And
that's good stuff.
So Tommy Dreamer, the fucking carny, was wearing a Longhorn Steakhouse fucking t-shirt tucked into his fucking sweatpants. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Have some self-respect, Tommy Dreamer.
Classic.
However, this match was the first match that was an actual match, so I really appreciated that. I'm like, okay, I kind of like this match. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this might be my favorite I Quit match ever.
We had 5 matches left on the card here to finish up this as we try to put this up with you. AJ, bring us with what happened on these next 3.
Oh, so I was so excited. Next up, we have Kid Cash and Super Crazy, the FBI, and the Unholy Alliance, which is Tajiri and Mikey Whipwreck with Sinister Minister.
Minister.
Fucking love Tajiri. He was my favorite back when I was a kid. Like, whenever I watched ECW, I was like, okay, where's Tajiri? I love him so much. He was my absolute favorite. So seeing him in this pay-per-view was great. Mikey Whipwreck, I get that he's an ECW legend. Same thing with Balls Mahoney, who we'll get to. I don't get it. You're just wearing. You look like you just got done shopping at Spencer's, and
Hot Topic.
You're such a fucking useless carny.
Well, I didn't. I wasn't a fan of Mike Whipwreck's either. I mean, yeah, he was ECW legend. I was a fan of Boz Mahoney. I mean, I just, you know what I mean. But Mikey, I wasn't a fan of him either. But I mean, respect his work, you know, and he helped train a lot of guys too. But I wasn't. Well, a fan either.
Just keep training and don't get in the ring, fucking Mikey Whipwreck.
2001.
Oh my god!
Cool name,
but
though.
Mikey
Whipwreck
is okay. Mikey, no, not so much. But the actual match was really good because Super Crazy's awesome.
Yeah, he's underrated, man. That was my only note was that the one time that I met Super Crazy, I told him, I don't know if he understood me. He nodded like he did, but I told him, I was like, look, man, it's like, watch you wrestle a lot, man. I always thought you deserved more, man. I thought you were always really underrated. You know, he's kind of shook his head at me, you know, but
he's great.
He's so like quick, soft on his feet, man. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like,
which you wouldn't expect it because he's kind of a round little fella, so you wouldn't think he would be as.
He's like a small husky.
Yes, you wouldn't expect him to be as agile as he is, but so the match, the Super Crazy and Kid Cash get eliminated, which had no idea this was an elimination match. Sure, like no clue. I'm like, wait a second. Oh, so then it was basically Tadgers being awesome all over FBI, which is what are they? Mama Luke and Little Guido and and Big Sal, who tries to get in the ring at one point and
Sal E,
fails miserably. So it ends up Tadgers hits the green mist on, I believe it was Mama Luke. I don't know which one. They look the same.
Right, yeah.
And then they hit stereo German suplexes into cradling pin or into bridging pins, which good for you, Mikey Whipwreck. That was pretty awesome. And Tadgers and Whipwreck get the win, and they are now the number one contenders for the ECW Championship, which didn't know that was a stipulation either before the match. So yeah, that was it was pretty good. What do you guys think?
I put it was super fun to watch Tajiri and Super Crazy go at it. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I had was that springboard flip from Kid Cash was dope as hell.
Yeah, also, it was awesome.
Cyrus said that they were counting in Mexican.
Counting in Mexico. Yep, counting it when Super Crazy was up on the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Counting in Mexican.
I mean, a lot of this stuff doesn't age well. We know that.
No, it does not.
Jeez.
Well, when you consider that all the women in this company are just there to have the crowd yell at them to show their tits and
they had Francine deep throating a sub. Like
yes, they did.
Right? Yeah. I don't know if I can get that whole thing in my mouth.
Yeah. Very, very good.
Different times.
Like I said, 12-year-old me would not been able to watch this.
No. Dirty, what do you got for this match?
That was all I had. Was just how underrated Super Crazy was, and it was kind of cool, man. Like I kind of just watched him for a while, you know.
Yeah,
just
he's
smooth,
so good.
Smooth. Yep.
Him and Tadgers, love him. So up next, so I've never been the biggest Sandman fan. I never really got his appeal until this pay-per-view. Like he gives a promo in the back where he's having a smoke and sipping on a beer. And it's a quiet, decent promo talking about how, it's actually his belt that he has to put 15 feet above the ring and defend, even though it's not his belt. He just stole it. But for once, I kind of got his appeal.
He's just a normal dude.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And he looks, again, this is the first time we saw him was, 1996? And he looked like an absolute train wreck of a human being. He still kind of does, only now he looks a little better.
Right.
So I have no idea how to even start this. I'm gonna give it a go. So it's Simon and Swinger with Don Marie and the Blue Meanie, who's the Blue Boy apparently, and Jasmine St. Clair against Balls Mahoney and Chili Willy.
Chili Willy.
Chili Willy.
I loved that name.
So it starts with either I think it was Swinger was like, I'm switching management because I didn't get to bang Don Marie, so I'm going with the Blue Meanie now. So implying that he wants to now bang the Blue Meanie instead of Don, because the Don Marie wouldn't let him bang her. So he's like, I'm going to go with Blue Meanie and I'm going to bang the shit out of him. It's okay. Let's try and this match was. I have no idea where it started. I have no idea where it ended. I have no idea what the match. I don't know if this is 2 matches or 1.
I had that problem a lot during this whole pay-per-view.
Oh my god! So at one point, the bell rings while everyone's in the ring, but the advertised competitors, who are Balls Mahoney and Chili Willy, that could not
Chili Willy,
who kept
Chili
touting
Willy.
as
Well,
he won a local tough man contest once. It's like, who the fuck cares? Like, what does that mean?
It's like a local hot dog eating contest.
He's a
who the
tough
fuck
son of a
cares?
bitch.
He wins at something.
So he got into a fight with some other drunken idiot at a bar, like that kind of tough man contest. Like, who the fuck cares? Chili fucking Willy. So this match happens, and then Rhino comes out and just gores everyone.
Gore.
And then he seriously just gores everyone. And I put match over? Question mark. I had no clue. And then Rhino hits the pile driver off the. I think it wasn't Dawn Marie. It was Jasmine St. Clair. I put he pile drives the lady with the nice patoot off the second rope. And yeah, that was match. I don't know.
Match.
That
finished.
was a thing.
Yeah, I mean there was. Yeah.
I don't thoughts.
No, I didn't have any.
God damn it!
Who won?
I don't know.
No, but it's unknown. It just kind of faded.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Rhino just kind of ended it.
Yeah, just it's no bell ring or anything, and then there's a quick promo with Rhino where he's just punching things in the back.
Yeah, he's going.
And
nuts.
this is where I got confused again because I'm like, wait, is this my match? I don't know what is happening right now.
Yeah, same.
Because it's the Sandman versus Steve Carino, and let's throw Just Incredible in there too. Why not?
Incredible, yeah.
It's a tables, ladders, chairs, and canes match. And this is all very typical. Anytime there's an ECW plunder match, basically, it's the same formula, same outcomes, which isn't a bad thing. They robbed Sandman of who he is by not giving us an intro, which pissed me the fuck off. It's like the first time I actually am behind Sandman in any of these, and they take away his intro, which is all he is. He's an entrance. That's what Sandman is. So it pissed me off. And then for the rest of the match, I'm like, okay, judging by the last match, I'm like, is this a thing? Or are they just schmozzing until another match starts? Turns out, yeah, kind of. It ends up that Sandman wins the match, so he not only owns or has the ECW Heavyweight Championship belt, he is the actual ECW Heavyweight Champion. And I was like, yeah, good outcome. Hooray. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Pause right there. Yeah, so... I mean, I lost count of how many slut references was going on during this.
All of them.
It was funny how Francine's gimmick was, as I said, was like she was like a side piece for the champion, whoever the champion was.
Yeah,
like,
whoever the champion was.
Yeah, it was wild. Don Callis with hair once again.
Yeah, fucking weird.
It was just it was like cool. Sandman just won, but. You know that there's way more that's about to happen. So, yeah.
Then what?
It was go ahead, Primo.
I was just saying, it was a cool 3-way dance for the championship. And then Sandman's, when he wins, he wins and becomes the 4-time ECW champion.
Uh-huh.
Sandman's music plays for days. After he wins the championship.
Right.
Yes.
Like before the next segment actually takes place, his music played forever.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yep.
So now I don't know if this counts as part of my match or if it's part of the main event.
Sandman Rhino?
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
Okay. I will pass
where
it
Primo
on off
picks up.
to you.
Yeah,
There,
it's okay.
Good luck.
No clue.
Yeah, so basically, as I was saying, Sandman's music was playing for days, and at the end of the 7th day, Rhino comes. He comes in.
The seventh day, Rhino was born.
Rhino, yeah, he emerges when Sandman's up on the turnbuckle. Rhino comes up. Sandman turns around, and Rhino goes to gore him, but he slips. And then he quickly recovers and he gores Sandman. And then obviously Joey's like, he just had a match, because he just went through
Sorry.
he just went through the 3-way match. That hardcore match he just went through. Anyway, and so then he beats Sandman into giving him a match for the strap, and also says he's going to kill his family.
He does say that. Mm-hmm.
The bell rings. Rhino picks Sandman up and gores him through a table. Then he pile drives him to the outside into another table. Sandman still wouldn't die. Another pile driver into scraps of the broken table. 1, 2, 3. Rhino's the new champ. That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
That was the entire. That was the entire match. That was every spot.
That was like he cashed the Money in the Bank contract.
Except for the one where there was one spot that I actually really liked where Sandman is dead because he just went through all the things, and Rhino's like, give me a match, and Sandman kind of paused for he's like, man, trying to find a microphone, and he grabs it, he's like, ring the fucking bell.
Ring the fucking bell.
I also liked the when Rhino threatened to kill Sandman's family. He was also like, how is there a fucking TV title in this company when you're not even on TV? And I was like,
yeah,
right.
He was throwing jabs.
Fucking hilarious, but that's all I got. That was it.
So right after this, RVD finally shows up after being chanted for all night.
Yeah,
all night.
It's your main event.
Yeah, it's the main event. Everybody's like, is he gonna show? It's been a whole thing. So is he already in WWE at this point?
Yeah, he had just returned. I think
in 2001 he was already in WWE.
Yeah, and they let him come back for this one match, right?
I think it was. Right. Yeah, it was like a bar-in deal. Yeah.
Right, and they also said he was filming Black Mass 2. I didn't confirm that.
I'm totally gonna watch that.
But so RVD finally shows up after being chanted for all damn night, and Jerry Lynn comes in and takes the main event.
Excuse me, did you say Jerry Lynn? I think you mean Jerry.
Yeah, because Rhino basically called him out, and then Jerry Lynn, who's the new self-proclaimed whole fucking show. Yep. Said he came in and he basically just takes the main event from Rhino.
Yeah. Sure.
And starts they wrestle all over the ring, right? So Jerry Lynn and RVD they wrestle all around the ring is what I meant. Outside. Not inside the ring. They just they do a tour of all the rings. And then they eventually get back in the ring, and I literally wrote, RVD is just so damn good. He's at this point, he's leagues above what Jerry Lynn was, and you could, and actually, I said you could actually say RVD is the whole fucking show. But then I'm also an RVD mark, so I'm biased. Jerry Lynn messes up on a roll up, and then the crowd lets him have it, giving them a "you fucked up" chant.
Yeah.
Big one.
Jerry Lynn actually messes up a bunch of times during this match. He goes for that sunset flip powerbomb from the turnbuckle, and his leg catch. I was scared for RVD.
I was too.
Oh no! And then towards the end of the match, your main event here. Towards the end of the main event, Cyrus interferes, and then Joel Gertner, Mr. Potty Mouth, comes out.
Mr. Potty Mouth.
DT's Cyrus in the middle of the ring and hangs around and helps RVD with the Van Terminator for the finish.
Which was an awesome finish. I liked it.
Yeah, it was a good finish. And that was it. After the match, they did a quick backstage promo. Carino Incredible basically say their world title chase isn't over, and that's it. And we have an outro package. What do you guys got?
So basically, this whole thing, or all my notes are about Jerry Lynn, because normally Jerry Lynn is smooth. He looks great. Like,
Right? Yeah.
he looked rough. He was in horrible shape. Like, he kept botching. I'm like, are you actually okay, Jerry Paul? Like, what are you doing? However, the match was decent. Like, RVD is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Jerry Lynn looked terrible, he still put on a decent match. Her-suited Don Callis is fun. Her-suited. That means Harry.
Does.
But overall, like, so all throughout this entire pay-per-view, it was an absolute train wreck where I had no idea what was happening, and it was still 10 times better than December to Dismember. Like, it was so much more enjoyable.
Yeah. The Van Terminator was awesome for me. It was awesome to watch Jerry and RVD kind of wrestle, back then, although, they were kind of, in the 90s was better. A decent pay-per-view. This wasn't billed as the last ECW pay-per-view, back then. So we thought, the way you watching this looks like, they were just going to keep going. But, the bankruptcy happened. I was disappointed that this pay-per-view was kind of cut on Peacock, with no entrances.
No entrances.
It seemed like a little bit of a chopped version. But overall, yeah, not my favorite ECW. I think Heatwave was probably my favorite one we covered of the month. But
Mine
overall, what do you guys think about this pay-per-view and then wrap up the month of ECW here?
I think that altogether, I learned a lot about ECW this month.
Sure.
Yes.
Obviously, we can all agree that the WWE iteration absolutely stunk.
It was bad. It was very bad.
It was they were not able to recreate what the '90s version of ECW was. I liked Barely Legal. I think was my favorite one because you could tell there was so much, heart behind that one. They were like, it was their first one, and they're like, they're ready.
Sure.
And then by the time you get to
Ready to
Guilty
show
as
the world.
Charged, you're like, what is this train wreck?
Yeah.
We're
a lot of things have happened. A lot of drugs have been blown through by the end, and
blown,
and all kinds of stuff there. So, yeah, man. AJ, what do you got here, man? For wrap up ECW for us.
So this month, it was just as enjoyable as the Saturday night's main events, but for different reasons.
Yeah,
because some of these, like Primo said, like Barely Legal was actually a pretty fantastic pay-per-view. Heatwave was a phenomenal pay-per-view. Like start to finish was fantastic. And I didn't get to talk about Heatwave. I was gone. That was the week I was gone. Boo. Loved Heatwave. And then the last two, like W's, like it's a good, like, so it's very indicative of both like what WWE would do to ECW with the December to Dismember. But it's also like this pay-per-view is a good example of what ECW kind of did to itself.
True.
Because they basically just cannibalized themselves.
Very well said. Yeah.
And this pay-per-view was a mess. Like they were just throwing things out there. There was no like form to it. There was no structure. The one storyline was Tommy Dreamer and C.W. Anderson. Like it was a mess, but it was still better than December to Dismember. And overall, this month was really half good, half tragic.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I mean, we knew coming in that's what we were going to get with ECW, So, but yeah, we're going to put a bow on ECW and wrap that up for the month of December. And I enjoy it. Always fun for me to always go back and watch some classic wrestling. So, speaking of classic wrestling, we're getting in the Rumble mood around here. So next week we're going to start our Royal Rumble month of January. We're going to be covering 4 Royal Rumbles from different eras. One from the 90s of 1992 is the one we're going to start off next week. Now, we're just covering the actual Rumble match, not any of the other rest of the pay-per-view. So, so we got, like I've said before, 1992 we're going to cover next week. Then we got one from 01 and 02, and then 2010 will be the last one of the 4 that we're going to cover this week to kind of celebrate the Royal Rumble, get us pumped up for the show at the end of the month. And so looking forward to that one, man. That was going to be fun. You guys looking forward to watching those Rumbles next month?
Yes, I love the Rumbles.
Me too.
And
Favorite.
I can't wait to cover them.
It's my favorite pay-per-view, so I'm pretty excited. And we will be covering them. Let's see, look at the calendar here. We're going to be covering exactly 4 of them, and then, up until 3 days before we go.
Yeah.
This coming year.
Jerry.
Yep. It's gonna be a big one. All right, guys, it's time to go to promo school, man. This was gonna be a fun one today. If you heard me talk about here in the beginning of the show here, we went a little different angle with this one. All right, so if you're not familiar, there's a comedian named Theo Von. He's one of my favorite comedians out there. He has this wrestling persona named the Rat King, and he is going to be. This is his explanation, or his rebuttal, should I say, to this man named Mystic Rick. Now, Mystic Rick,
So stupid.
he is another guy that doesn't have a lot of nice things to say about wrestling fans. He calls us bad names. He thinks we're below him. We're the scum of the earth kind of deal. But never fear, the Rat King is here to take up for us, and he's going to be this is what he says when he is approached about what Mystic Rick was said. So listen to this awesome promo here. You're going to love it. Go look it up after you listen to it here. It's called Rat King Responds to Mystic Rick on YouTube. It's hilarious here. Check it out.
Gianni here, waiting for the Rat King to join me.
You rang, baby!
Rat King. A lot of smack being thrown around by Mystic Rick saying wrestling is fake. What are your thoughts on that?
Was it fake when I nabbed the gab out of that little Russia hunter, Mr. Michael Rappaport? Was it fake when I broke the spirit of that little Norwegian smut mannequin, Mr. Crystal? Was that fake, Rick? Was it fake when I put the dirty unagi on little Bobby Miyagi? Was that fake, Ricky? The only thing not real here is you, brother. You little diet denier, starch addict, gout candidate.
Gout candidate.
I bet you can't even skateboard.
Rick had some choice words for the fans of wrestling, calling them losers, poor, and even lowlifes. What are your thoughts on that, Rat King?
You think you're better than the regular folk, Rick? You think you're better than wrestling fans? Than the regular people who run you out your little loose meat dinners? Well, I got news for you, Rick.
What kind of news? He is saying anyone can get it. Will you be the one, Rat King?
All you need to know, Rick, is that I'm ready. Because I'm going to give you the truth, baby. And I'm going to give you the trauma. Name the time and the place and the place and the time. Because I got a clock and a globe and an axe to grind. From Alaska to Nebraska, from Maine to Fort Wayne. It's your call, you turkey slicing boner monkey. You won't know what happened when the Rat King puts you in the mozzarella splash. You'll be hearing through your feet when I put you in the Swiss wheelchair. Pick your poison, you Walmart body cuck. Because I'm the hitter with the glitter. I'm the hammer with the glamour. And I'm going to show you how real feel. Yeah.
There you have it, folks. The Rat King.
Say hello to that little side piece of yours, too, Mistake. The female, not the foul. She knows who I am.
He means business.
Oh my God,
man!
Gout candidate is like my favorite insult of all
Gout
time.
candidate,
Gout
starch
candidate.
addict,
Fixing you loose meat dinners.
running out all your loose meat dinners. Go look that up on YouTube, man. The audio doesn't serve it justice, man. I'm not kidding you. When I'm having a bad day, I watch this video because it makes me crack up every time because he does these little wrestling isms where he's grabbing his sunglasses and he's pointing. And me and Primo died laughing the other day watching it because he keeps moving the belt around.
Yeah.
He's got a belt
Just
and he
keep on the
puts
same
it
shoulder, yeah.
and he puts it on the announcer's shoulder and then takes it off. Puts it back on his shoulder. It's great, man. Good stuff there, man. Shout out to Theo Vaughn. Love that guy, man. Good stuff. All right, next up on the show here, boys, it's time to get to the tag team draft, man. Let's get to it here. All right, a couple quick rules here. All right, so what we've been doing is we just did one. You haven't missed much if you're just catching up here. All right, so last month we did our first draft. We drafted 7 singles wrestlers and to start our virtual promotion as if we were starting a promotion. Now, the only stipulation of the first draft for the singles was that they couldn't be anybody with any championships. So at the time when we drafted, this is what we come up with. AJ's Glue Factory Wrestling drafted Bryan Danielson, Finn Balor, CM Punk, Malachi Black, AJ Styles, Cesaro, and Daniel Makabe. All right. My promotion, Hot Heels on Top Wrestling. We drafted Chris Jericho, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Jay Lethal, Sasha Banks, Edge, and Jungle Jack Perry. And Jungle Boy. And then now, the only thing we have left is Primo. Let me read Primo's roster here, and he's going to let you know his name of his promotion here. We got he's got MJF, Darby Allin, Adam Cole, Miro, Brock Lesnar, Johnny Gargano, and Jeff Hardy. Primo, what's the name of your promotion, sir?
Well, we had temporarily we were owned by the PWP, the Primo Wrestling Promotion, and then they sold out to the SGWP, which was the Stupid Generic Wrestling Promotion. The Stupid Generic Wrestling Promotion went bankrupt. So now we are finally the PGWP, which is a pretty good wrestling promotion.
All right, so is our rundown of our first draft that we had and our first singles draft. So
pretty good.
AJ had the first pick last time, and so we rotate through. So Primo picked third last. So our order tonight is Primo's picking first, AJ second, and I'm picking third, snake style. So we're going to pick 5 tag teams. Okay. Now, any tag teams are available, but you can only have 2 tag teams that are current champions in any promotion. Okay. So the other 3 that you draft are going to have to be without any tag team, any champions belts whatsoever as a tag team. Now they can hold them as singles, but as a tag team, they can't have any titles. But you get 2 picks for out of your 5 draft picks that are current champions that have titles, because let's just face it, ain't a whole lot of tag teams out there as we discussed coming up here. So let's get this thing started here. The SGWP. Did I do that right?
We used to be the
generic
SGWP.
wrestling promotion.
Now we're the PGWP. We're
now
pretty
we're the
good.
PG.
Pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good.
All right, Primo. You get the number 1 pick here for the tag teams, man. Who you taking here with your first pick?
Well, with the number 1 tag team draft pick, the Pretty Good Wrestling Promotion selects the Young Bucks as our number 1 overall draft pick.
No wrong there, man. He's going to sell tickets. They're going to put butts in seats. They're going to sell merch. Probably, maybe the best in the world. Who knows? Can't go wrong with that one. All right, AJ, you're up, man. They are Young Bucks. Are they champions anywhere right now? I don't think so. Are
nope,
they? Yeah,
they're not.
No,
so
that's
they
why
don't count
I
as
pulled them while I
Primos.
could.
Okay.
So Glue Factory Wrestling is going to select with their number 1 pick the actual best tag team in the world, FTR. FTR is going to go.
they are
Goddamn right.
Yo, well,
that's one of my champs, right? They're AAA champs.
Yep, they're AAA champs. So that's one of your champs. Yeah, I mean they were definitely going to be my number one pick right off the bat. So good pick there. I mean FTR. Man, that's all you gotta say right there. All right, so for me, I get 2 picks in a row here since it's a snake style draft. I'm going back. Yeah, this is tough, man, because I kind of thought one of those would be available there. So, I'm going to take the Usos with my first pick, and then
okay with that.
And then with my second pick, I'm going to take RK Bro.
Sweet, both of mine are still there.
So, got to have some good guys to put over all my heels.
By the time it gets back to me, nothing's going to be on the table.
Well, I mean,
all right, AJ, you're up with your second pick. What you got?
Okay. Well, might as well just get this out of the way right now, too.
I hate you so much because I know what you're going to do.
The Lucha Bros.
Lucha Brothers, AEW Tag Team Champions to go with your FTR.
Yep. So there's my 2 champs, Lucha Brothers.
There's your 2 champs. Primo still got his 2 left, and you're about to make 2 back-to-back picks here, Primo. Who you got?
What champions are there left?
SmackDown. Nope. Impact.
You got Good Brothers.
Actually, they are on my list.
Don't give him hints.
Well, they are on my draft board.
Well, you just said Impact. They're the tag champions there.
They are the tag champions.
No, they're not.
I'm going to go for my back-to-back picks are. They're both champions. Okay. I mean, if you still count it. So we'll go with, I will take the Good Brothers. PGWP takes the Good Brothers and another set of brothers.
You son of a bitch.
The Briscoe brothers.
Right off. God damn it.
Nice.
I was hoping you guys forgot about the Briscoe
they're
brothers.
Champions, aren't they?
Yeah, they got some belts for sure.
Wait, do they? I didn't think they did.
I think they were the
final. They were the last Ring of Honor.
Does that count anymore?
Did we count that or no?
I mean, they're going to defend them, so I guess technically.
Okay.
Gresham's still defending the world title, so.
There you go, then. That counts as my champion.
AJ, who you got?
Well, gotta go New Day.
New Day.
How have they not even been taken for a while? Like,
you wouldn't have to worry about me. I would have never took them.
Well, plus I have 2 AEW champs, or AEW tag teams. I want to go with 1 WWE tag team, so we're gonna go New Day.
Okay, gotcha.
2 for you, Dodie.
For me, making 2 picks here. I'm going to go for Pop, and I'm going to go for a little bit of Power. So for Power, I'm going to take Red Dragon, Riley and Fish. And for Pop, I'm going to take Finn Juice.
Nice.
Finn Juice. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
All right. So those are my picks. AJ, you're up, and then Primo makes his final 2 picks.
So
we're all picking non-champions now.
So I'll just go ahead and get Pop and Power in the same team with Jurassic Express.
Nice.
Jurassic Express. That is, of course, Luchasaurus and... Wait,
Jungle Boy.
Not
Mark. Jungle Boy is on his promotion. Can we do that? He's in Hot.
Is that allowed?
I mean, yeah, it's going to be allowed.
You're going to allow, promoter. Are you going to allow Jungle Jack Perry to cross over sometimes?
Yeah, can he enter the forbidden door?
I am. I think he's going to smash that wall down. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right, Primo, your final picks, man. You got the Young Bucks, Good Brothers, and the Briscoes. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I do have a nice.
It's pretty legit.
It's pretty good.
You mean throw some out there that's available?
No, I already have my 2.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready to go.
Sounds good.
I wouldn't be, Primo if I didn't pick the tag team that I've been hyping this whole year. And that is none other than my boy Wes Lee.
There it is.
Ed Nash as MSK.
Do we know what MSK stands for yet?
No.
Still no.
Yep.
All
I hope we
right.
never do.
Must see again. And finally,
last round.
Yes.
This is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Last tag team. I need some talkers.
Okay.
I got the Good Brothers. I got Young Bucks who can do everything. I got Good Brothers who are awesome. Everybody I have is awesome, really. But I wanted somebody called 2.0.
You piece of shit. I was hoping that everyone forgot about 2.0 and I was going to sneak in there.
They're good for comic relief, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you fucker.
All right.
Well.
What you got here, AJ, for your last pick, man?
Fuck. Well,
I'll throw some out.
No, I got
you got
one.
it? Okay, cool.
One.
Let's do it.
It's going to be a bit surprising. We are going to go with the Varsity Blondes featuring Grifferson.
Whoa, swerve!
So I can
what is even happening?
So I can drive the Griff wagon off a cliff. And bench him for good.
Oh man, were we doing factions too, so you can go get Gun Club?
I thought about it, but I was like, no, I can't.
Right.
Grifferson's one thing. The Gun Club is something entirely different.
So for my last pick, these are some ones that I was thinking of. I really wanted to pick the besties in the world, but they are the PWX Tag Team Champions. So
you're out of champs there, sucker.
Out of champs too. So ones that I've thought of, Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky,
me,
some sort of Decay faction, Rude and Ziggler, the Hurt Business, Heath and Rhino, Legado del Fantasma,
Street Profits.
Yep, Street Profits is on my list.
Put your fucking fingers down.
The Acclaimed is out there.
Yo.
Acclaimed's out there. GYV is out there.
Grizzles.
No, guys. No. Because I gotta have a tag team that wants all the smoke. All the smoke.
There you go.
I'm gonna go with the old Street Profits, man. They're good workers. They'll put over my heels. So I'm gonna take the Street Profits here. So Primo and AJ, won't you read us back here who you drafted here today, my friends?
So we got in the pretty good wrestling promotion. We have the Young Bucks, the Good Brothers, the Briscoe Brothers, nice. MSK, and 2.0. Solid lineup.
You have a lot of brothers in your lineup. That is a solid lineup.
We're a family. We're a pretty good wrestling promotion.
So here at Glue Factory Wrestling, we have FTR, we have the Lucha Bros, we have New Day, Jurassic Express, and Varsity Blondes featuring Griff Grifferson. That's the weak link of my promotion right there.
He's your water boy.
Yes, he is.
That was the weak link of yours.
And, I had the ones that were on my draft board that did not end up. Well, actually, Street Profits did end up on yours, but the other ones that did not end up on anybody's drafts were the Dirty Dogs, which you said, the Hurt Business, which you said,
Pride and Powerful.
Pride and Powerful. That was the last one. Yeah, Santana
Ortiz.
On
my list.
Yep.
So.
All right, mine was for Heels on Top Wrestling. We had the Usos, RK Bro, Red Dragon, Finn Juice, and the Street Profits.
Surprised no one took the Hardy Boys, even though they're not officially a tag team again.
Well, they're not active.
That's true.
Otherwise, they would have been.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff Hardy technically is in my promotion.
This is true, yeah.
They would have been picked up there pretty quick had they been on the table.
When I drafted, Jeff Hardy was active.
Yes.
So,
yep.
You have two people on your singles roster that are currently inactive.
Okay, so
Johnny.
That is our tag team draft for this month of December. We're coming back in the month of January. We're going to be drafting our women's roster here next coming up. So that's going to be fun coming in the month of January. And then February, we're going to be drafting our managers, valets, and our general managers and to fill out the roster. And then we'll get down to business, lining up some matches and see who's going to come out on top.
I think we should eventually, like one of the last things we do, we each draft one faction.
I like it.
That we can bring.
I think we should also each draft one commentator as well. Who will commentate all of our matches.
Yeah, I like that.
So that is the draft here. All right, Primo, let's get back to WWE, man. We got a big pay-per-view this Saturday night, not Sunday, Saturday night. WWE Day 1 is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, home of the World Series champion, my Atlanta Braves. What's that card looking like here for WWE Day 1, Primo?
Well,
and don't look at me like that when I acknowledge the world champions, okay? We don't get much, okay, in Atlanta. We don't get much.
You mean this world champion right here? Right here? By the way, it's been 104 days. Yeah. I am the second longest reigning
104
sit-down mark champ of all time. Another 40 days and I'll have the longest reign.
Rumble's going to be my night.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to this Day 1 card here. Day 1 card. Get your Day 1 card.
Proceed.
Day 1 card here.
Our opening singles match, we got Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss.
Okay.
What you think? Which predictions, opinions?
Drew McIntyre. Obviously. And who cares?
I think right now, Drew McIntyre, from what I just witnessed last night, Drew McIntyre is like their current workhorse. He's currently, they just strapping the wagon to him, you know?
He's the Dean Ambrose of the current generation, basically.
Yeah.
Work.
Next,
which I like that. I like Dean. Or I like.
Yeah, I like Drew McIntyre as well.
Yeah, I like him.
He's a big dude.
Yes, he is.
I've seen him in person. I mean, I was up there, and he's still a huge man.
Yes, he's
WWE huge. Hall of Famer Edge versus The Miz.
I feel like Edge should go over, but I don't know, man. He stood tall in the go home. Yeah.
Yeah, but if Seth Rollins can't beat Edge, why is The Miz going to beat Edge? It's got to be Edge.
That's
because
a good point.
Maurice is going to give him brass knuckles to knock out.
Yeah, but
like he did with Daniel Bryan or something.
Yeah, but who gives a shit about Maurice? Get out of here.
I mean, she's a very pretty lady.
For yourself.
I do give shits about Maurice.
Yeah. I mean, she's all right. She's no Toni Storm.
Hey, she is a mummy. You be nice about that lady.
Sorry, Primo.
Anyway,
Jerry Ball.
Speaking of Edge, did you guys hear about that? When Seth Rollins missed the house show, Edge and Kevin Owens did a cage match.
Yeah.
At
MSG, yeah. And no one saw it because they didn't sell half the tickets that they had available.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost had that empty arena match that Rock and Mankind had.
Uh-huh.
So we have the Raw Tag Team Titles match. Street Profits taking on the champions RK Bro.
I'm going to go with Street Profits.
Yeah, I think it's time.
It's time. I feel like it's time for Riddle to start screwing up and Randy getting pissed about it.
Yeah.
Randy versus Riddle Mania.
Also
Mania. Okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, I believe that.
I don't think they could get there before Rumble.
2022.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like Randy will get another championship run.
You know,
agree
previously I would have been like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, why?" But now I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely."
Well, I feel like they kind of need him right now.
Yeah, badly. He's the most consistent performer on any brand that WWE has right now.
We have the WWE. I'm sorry, I skipped over the SmackDown Tag Team Titles match. New Day taking on the champions, the Usos. The Usos, as they call them.
We the ones staying tall on that one.
We the ones. I was so
I'm
mad.
gonna go ahead and
Usos because I wanted to say that.
I'm gonna pick New Day for that, mainly because I just drafted them.
New Day
for no other reason.
They'll be the 12-time tag champs.
Oh yeah. That'll give them the record, right?
Now,
no, they already have.
Wrong. I'm happy with either one of these tag teams having the championship titles. I'm a fan of both of them. So.
I also think that'll be match. I also think that'll be match of the night.
Oh yeah, they've had countless matches and they always burn the house down. So
they do every time.
Great. Next up, this should be a really good match. WWE Intercontinental title match. Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Rick
Nakamura.
Boogs.
I hope that Rick Boogs turns on Shinsuke and Sammy wins the belt, and then Shinsuke and Rick Boogs feud for a little
You
while.
want him to be a solo act.
Yes, Shinsuke doesn't need anyone.
You're over the guitar.
I am over the guitar, yes. Very much so. And Shinsuke Nakamura is one of my favorite all-time wrestlers, and I am over everything about him right now.
Well,
Getcha.
Actually, that might be.
They just need to change that thing.
Yes.
well, he wasn't in your top 7 favorite because you didn't draft him in your promotion.
He was the IC champ, so I couldn't draft
Oh, that's right. That's where we can do champions.
Rules.
Otherwise I
Rules.
Okay, Raw Women's title match. Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. You think it's time for Liv to finally take it off Becky?
Yes, I think it's time. I think they're going in too much into the story too much.
Yeah,
I think Becky's moving on.
They're deep in the story for sure.
I think Becky's moving on to a bigger something that's going to start leading up to Mania. Or she loses and wins the Rumble.
Ooh. I was thinking that she would lose the title at the Rumble, but now I like that better. So yeah, I'll go with Liv Morgan.
I feel like we got to see
Already
Becky
won the
Charlotte
Rumble,
at Mania.
though, right? Hadn't she?
Yeah, but she was not even really an entrant, but she was.
Yeah, she took Nia Jax's spot
right, yeah.
at the end or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I'm just throwing out scenarios, but
no, yeah,
but
for sure. I also agree though that it is. I see Liv Morgan finally taking the strap. It'll be her first title,
which I'm okay with. I like Liv Morgan.
Like cheat to win, like something
Definitely
like cheat to win or something. Like hold the rope like she did, or
that's what Becky's been doing. Yeah. Also, you think she's gonna get one over on her?
Yeah. What's good for the Goose situation?
The Fatal 4-Way for the WWE title. If it happens as a Fatal 4-Way, it is scheduled to be Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens versus the champion Big E. I honestly don't know the alternate plans.
Yeah, I don't either. Triple threat.
Yeah. Singles match.
Here they start with 4. They can, if anybody don't make it, they can triple threat, regular match. Yeah. I think we're looking at retaining here.
I'm gonna say Seth Rollins
takes it,
but takes it, but doesn't pin Big E, so they can feud over the. So Big E can lose the title without losing, and then he can fight. Actually, maybe Kevin Owens too.
My thoughts have been this whole time that it would either have been Seth Rollins or Kevin Owens will take the strap. Yeah. Big E is not walking out of there as champion.
I don't think so either.
Gotcha. I think he retains. That's me.
Yeah. Well, he may very well retain and lose at the Rumble or lose at Mania.
Yeah.
You optimistic fool.
But I think for sure though I agree with AJ that Big E will not walk out as champion.
But I don't think he'll lose.
Right? Yeah. He ain't taking the pin.
No.
And finally, we have Brock Lesnar versus the WWE Universal Champion and Roman Reigns.
No contest.
Yeah,
Heyman has something to do with that finish. Or
is it a swerve? Is it a swerve? Roman really didn't fire him?
Like Roman really didn't fire him?
But he punched him in the face.
Yeah.
Punched him in the face. But he pauses. He's known to be like a slime ball. Like he could have
wily.
Coordinated that whole thing.
I think in any case there will be no finish to this match.
Or no finish, and then they kind of go away from it, and Brock wins the Rumble, and then we already know that's the main event of Mania.
Brock.
So how are we going to get there?
Brock wins the Rumble,
or a SmackDown guy wins the Rumble.
Have we already surpassed the Brock's?
No, it'll be like a week after day one. I think it's next week.
Well, he's got to let him do that, right?
Yeah.
Roman's got to do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Roman's definitely passing Brock's.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no mystery about him retaining
his streak. His
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he'll be like 400 something days after.
Yeah, no, they ain't cutting that water off for a long time.
No.
I don't even know if they're cutting it off at Mania. I don't know, man.
If it's against Brock Lesnar, I don't think they will. I hope they don't.
I think we're looking at a long run here for Roman.
Because if Brock wins at Mania, that just means that Roman and Brock are going to keep feuding probably into next Mania, and I don't want that. I just don't.
No. Well, we'll see what happens here this Saturday night on Peacock. I believe it comes on at 7 Eastern, 6 Central.
Peacock. So
it's time to close the show. I want to thank Jet Designs and Coastland Apparel for sponsoring the show here today. AJ, where can you get the Sit Down Marks podcast, sir?
So you'd be proud of me. I copied it down so I can not make up ones this time. Excuse me. You can get the Sit Down Marks podcast at iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Prime Music, Audible, SportsWire Online Radio at 6:15 Eastern Standard Time, right after the
number one
Thomas Bryce Show, or right before, I should say, the Thomas Bryce Show. And you can also catch us, Thomas Bryce. Go ahead, do it again.
Number one.
Thank you. You can also catch us right here on YouTube every Wednesday night, 6:30, 5:30 Central, or throughout the week, wherever you can listen to your podcast. And we would really like it if you gave us one of them 5-star reviews on any of those situations. Or, don't, I guess. It's up to you, but do. So, yeah. Go, listen, download. Thank you for your support, you lovely marks.
Let's get to the UFC or MMA weekend picks. We're going to be off here for a while. I don't think
Thank God.
UFC is scheduled until January the 14th, but we sit right now. AJ is 24-26, and Primo's lock of the week is sitting at 4-2. Primo, give us the preview of what's going on next week's pod, which will be the first pod of 2022.
Well, Marks, Happy New Year. Happy 2022, the first pod of the new year. We'll have WWE Day 1 results, AEW coverage. We begin our month of classic Royal Rumble matches, and next week we begin the legendary 1992 Royal Rumble match, and Hartenbauer is back to talk about his adventures lately in his match next week at Zowa Live for the Zowa Live Championship in Sterling, Illinois versus JJ Garrett. Go catch it. January 8th, and much, much more.
I would listen to that episode.
That's coming up next week.
I tried to hype it. I really did.
I know. This sounds good.
You did great, man. I love it.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for 2022 wrestling, guys? Good and bad. What do you expect out of 2022 in wrestling?
Primo?
Okay, so as we mentioned, obviously I already said I think it's time for someone of Randy's caliber to have the WWE championship again, to have another championship run. But also, if things keep going, WWE looks like it's almost on life support. And I just hope that this time next year there is still, what we know is WWE. I will say that I expect cool things to keep coming from AEW.
Mm-hmm. I'll second that.
They've been hitting it right out of the park, and I enjoy watching their shows week in and week out. NXT, I hope that they kind of find their groove and stop I feel like they just try something new every single week, and whenever it doesn't work, they scratch it and try again.
Mm-hmm.
So
they
just find your groove and just stick with it, man. And I hope that kind of starts to pick up and get better as well. Obviously, with COVID talks on the rise again, we don't know what's going to happen, but I hope that as the world heals and we get over the pandemic or whatever, or try to live with the pandemic, that our wrestling world continues to thrive.
So my predictions for 2022, both good and bad, mostly bad, but I'll try and throw some good in there. I think that WWE will run itself into the ground. They'll ruin Roman Reigns. I'm guessing they'll try and turn him face, which is just a terrible idea because he's the best heel ever. I think that they're going to do Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar throughout most of the year. And I think NXT is they had their groove. Like what you were saying, they need to find their groove. They had it. And then Vince McMahon was like, needs more beef. So they changed everything. And I think it'll, like you said, just keep changing. And it won't amount to anything. However, the good stuff, I think that AEW is going to have a string of really successful championship runs, including Bryan Danielson. I think Adam Page's run is going to be, it's looking like it's going to be better now. Watch him lose next week to Bryan Danielson. Anyways, but I think AEW will keep doing cool things. Like you said, I think Impact is going to make a bigger splash than it previously has, which it should, because Impact is a good show. But I think that WWE is dropping the ball so much that it's going to leave the door wide open for not anyone to overtake them, because obviously no one's going to overtake them. They're a billion-dollar corporation.
Sure.
But it'll improve. Like, WWE faltering is going to improve all the other promotions. And that I greatly look forward to.
Well said. Well said. All right, guys. In case you missed it, last week we had a big guest on the pod. AJ, tell everybody who was on the pod last week and tell them to go download that thing. Who was on the pod last week?
Really quick. Yes, Primo.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I just wanted to ask, Dirty, what are your thoughts and predictions for 2022?
Oh, yeah.
That was y'all's question. That wasn't for me. That's why I moved on. That was y'all's question. I want to see where y'all headed.
Well, I was thinking because maybe, a year from now we could play this clip and see what we thought.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I think AEW is going to be more the same. I think they're going to continue to pop us. They're going to continue to do great wrestling. I think if the WWE is still there that I once knew, I think they're going to come back hard in 2022. Like I said, I think Ronda Rousey, they're going to do things to give them ratings and spikes and attention. Ronda Rousey being maybe one of those things. I think we're going to see some sort of figurehead emerge, whether it be a Shane or a Triple H or somebody like that, or somebody to kind of spearhead. I don't think they're not going anywhere. I think they're kind of sitting back, and on the outside looking in, we know that AEW is a very viable wrestling source right now. But to WWE, I think they might have kind of be like, well, let's just wait and see what happens, here, because we've seen these competitors come, we've seen them go, we've seen the bigger ones like WCW give them a run. But I still, I still don't think they're really phased by AEW. Like I said before, in previous past, you know what I mean? I still think they don't see them as kind of a viable competitor. Right now they probably should, you know what I mean? But I just think that, at the end of the day, what AJ said, they're $1 billion company, money always makes for good wrestling, because if you can afford a lot of good wrestlers, we're going to, and this year, we're probably going to see guys from AEW go to WWE. We're going to see the transfer back, with some of them. Will it be as in the headlines and as big as a pop and stuff? I don't know, but, I just feel like, we're going to see, I feel like we're going to see The Rock at some point. The Rock on our TV trumps anything AEW is going to do. Let's just be honest. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
That's the one thing they got in their pocket right now. And eventually I think they're going to use it. So,
I think that, too, what you were saying about them and AEW, at this point, WWE's current downfall is not the competition of AEW. It's more self-inflicted. With the release and the bad storylines.
Yeah. The product is not good.
We can see how they're handling business, and it's just not sitting well with a lot of people too.
Right.
So
yeah.
The Rock was on my TV all weekend, by the way. So. Suckers.
Bad movies. Yeah.
I forgot what the name of that movie was, but
Southland Tales.
AJ, who was on the pod last week, man? Tell the people who to go. What episode to go download?
Last weekend, I believe it was episode 43. Is that correct? 43
Yep.
was none other than Space Jesus herself, Billy Starks. Had a great chat with us. She took some time out of her very busy schedule to sit down and talk to us for about 45 minutes, and it was fascinating. She if you haven't heard of her, A, what's wrong with you? B, what's wrong with you?
C, you're gonna, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
so,
she is an up and coming. She's gonna be just an absolute star. I mean, she's already an absolute star, like independently, but
yeah,
she's the future of wrestling promotions. Like you think of the future of it, and it is her. And so we had her on because she was gracious enough to come on, and so go listen to that interview, available episode 43 of the Sit Down Marks podcast, and catch up with Billy Stark, see what she's up to, and become a fan of her like we did.
I mean, you could say she is possibly maybe even the next big thing. I don't know. Watch that all up.
Yep.
There you go. She could be the next big thing, just like Brock Lesnar. All right, boys, let's get out of here. You guys got any more notes here before we take her home?
Happy New Year, everyone. Yeah. Stay safe. If you have to stay home, please fucking stay home. I'm so sick of this crap. But yeah, Happy New Year. Happy, healthy, all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a fun 2021. We started the show in March, and it's been great. Thanks for anybody that supported us. Thanks for anybody that's listened to our show and downloaded it, or even seen AJ and Dirty out there in Illinois and recognized us. It's a cool what we're doing. We started in March, and we're already the current official podcast of Zawa Live Wrestling, and that's pretty dope in itself. So, and we also have a working partnership with Iron Spirit. So I think where we go in 2022 as a podcast will just go even further beyond what we accomplished this year, and we can't thank you guys enough for your support.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well said. I want to remind everybody out there to, number one, be safe. Number two, have a happy new year. And thank you all for supporting the podcast from me and all the boys here. We have way more to do in 2022. And we want to thank all of our guests that have been on the pod this week. Just to name a few here: Levi Cooper, RPD, Rick Marcus, Billy Starks, Big Beef, Ishmael Vaughn, Daniel McCabe, Trevor Outlaw, Hartenbauer, Bucky Collins, Rabbi Jeremy Fine, and our boss Logan Bruce over Iron Spirit Pro, and also Kev Kellum over at AAW. Thank you guys so much. We had a blast this year. Looking forward to getting started in January here next week with our 2022. Looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much. Next week we're getting jumping right in those Royal Rumbles from 1992. So go watch that 1992. Watch Ric Flair win it, and then come back here with us, and we'll talk about it next week. So for AJ, Primo, and myself, I think it's time to take us home for the last time this year. Happy New Year, everybody. Be safe. Have fun out there. We'll see you guys in 2022. AJ, take us home one last time this year, brother.
Happy New Year. Grab them cakes.